Alright, and finally, here we go, and welcome to the second Sugar Free League stream channel. Joining me is nobody. I'm here doing the solo cast alone. We've got a fantastic series tonight. We got Wasted Potential with some infamous players such as Papa Skips, Pure Acid, Angel, Indigo, and Rutledge Beast, and the likes. Facing off against ReBrand, having 9-Line Klein, Tokushiro, Bezelheim, SWBF, and Gabi. I'm not a huge fan of this song either, so I'm gonna switch this. I should establish my own playlist, but I just use League of Music's YouTube channel because they've got a lot of the LCS and LCK music, so that seems a bit better for Champs Luck. So as we get in here, we are on patch 9.3, so we may see a few bot lane picks higher prioritized than we have seen in previous patches. So we are seeing nothing new there out of the Lucian and Alistar being taken off for the bot lane picks there, each being taken off by each respective team, as well as what is still the most scary tank up in the top lane, that being Sion, as well as Gangplank, Zoe, and the third ban coming out for ReBrand will bring us to the 6th ban, and we'll see what Wasted Potential decide to pick up for the first champion of their team composition. We're actually seeing Zillion taken away, so both a popular mid lane and support pick, also just not wanting to have that extra experience gain that gives a lot of teams and carries advantages, as well as the obnoxious slow / speed up and all else that's associated with it. I'm going to turn down my music ever so slightly more. Awesome. So, we do see Acid's Kha'Zix, once it's actually up and for the taking. There's no surprise that Wasted Potential is going to pick that up, and in response, we're going to see that Jarvan the Fourth, more than likely for Tokushiro here in the jungle, but it could also go for the top lane, or even if you want to go for the wacky AP support airy Jarvan the Fourth in the bot lane, it's weird, but it also wouldn't surprise me. Otherwise, we're seeing the Jinx picked up for SWBF. Jinx probably being a little bit more relevant now with the most recent itemization for AD carry being reverted back to the original state of Infinity Edge, and having some bonuses added into the new Storm Razor and all other else. So we'll see what SWBF decides to opt in for his itemization. A very strong pick to respond to it. That's going to be the Draven Pike bot lane for Wasted Potential. I very much love watching Angel or Prism on Pike. I think he is shown a very good amount of mastery on it. I think he's actually very experienced when it comes to his Pike. Plays a lot of it in solo queue as far as I'm aware. And Draven in general is just a very scary champion as it is in the meta right now. You do have the Bloodline and the overheal meta of the bot lane, just helps so much with sustain and, just being able to protect yourself with a little bit of a shield in the early game, especially versus things like Nami, things that are looking to poke you out a bit more. Otherwise, Shen ban, which is a little bit strange. I haven't seen Shen for the longest of times, but it is a decent pickup no matter where it goes. I'd probably prefer its support nowadays in Season 9, honestly. I think it is still a pretty decent support if you do take Aftershock on it and use it as more of a peel your 80 carry type deal rather than up in the top lane split pushing and whatnot. Seems to have fallen out of flavor on the top side of the map, and otherwise we're seeing the Gnar banned away from 9-Line Klein. And Malzahar taken away from Rutledge Beast, as well as Galio away from Bezelheim. So we have yet to see what both of these mid lanes pick. It'll be very interesting. I love watching both of these players on mid lane, so we're going to actually see the Sejuani picked up for Tokushiro. It's going to be a Jarvan the Fourth top lane versus whatever we see picked up for Papa Skips up in the top lane. So I believe with that Shen ban, that is a more popular Papa Skips pick. He does very much like to ult bot lane and try to get them ahead with a 3v2 advantage or a 4v2 if they get Acid down there as well. So taking that off the table helps reduce that global presence that Papa Skips may, try to just get the rest of his team rolling and whatnot. But otherwise, we're seeing the Veigar picked up for Wasted Potential. Rutledge Beast is looking to scale up for the mid to late game with the Veigar that is known for reaching triple digits of AP very fast and even pushing for quadra digits, 4 digits of ability power. So we're actually going to see Papa Skips on the Clud this time around. So we're not seeing any tanks at all coming out from the side of Wasted Potential. So it'll be a very heavy damage, engage, and just steamroll composition coming out from Wasted Potential. A little bit different if you're on the side of ReBrand. You do have the Sejuani picked up, so you do have that frontline engage, and Jarvan, who, if he isn't a solo lane, he's probably going to go a little bit more damage-oriented, but we'll actually see where this cannon's going. It may go for the mid lane, may go for the top lane, so very interested to see where ReBrand decides to focus that cannon pick. Because this could be a full AD Jarvan mid, and it actually looks like it is going to be Bezelheim on Jarvan. That is actually so very interesting to see. That's something I haven't seen in the longest time. One of the people that comes to mind when I think of Jarvan mid is Keen, who I think is fallen out of the competitive scene a little bit. I'm not sure where he's at nowadays, but Keen, when it comes to niche picks in the mid lane, you know, Jarvan the 4th full AD was one of his favorite pickups. So very awesome to see something like that, a little more strange of a pick. And otherwise, actually, it does look like we are getting the a second cookie bet system over on the second Sugar Free League stream. So hopefully we can get the cookie bets all set up. That'd be awesome. But otherwise, yeah, we do see Kled versus Kennen up in the top lane. It is going to be a little hard of a matchup for Papa Skips with a melee into the range matchup of Kennen. I'll like to see if 9-line Klein opts for the Kleptomancy. You know, which has probably seen a bit more popularity up in the top lane. Otherwise, we're going to see the notorious iPure Acid on Kha'Zix, one of his most popular champions, versus Tokushiro Sejuani. And then in the mid lane, as I said, we got Vigar versus Jarvan, with that being Rutledge versus Bezelheim, and Indigo and Angel versus SWBF and Gabi, Draven and Pyke versus Jinx and Nami. It's going to be very scary down there in the bot lane. I think there's a massive amount of kill potential for the side of wasted potential. So in about 2 minutes, we'll get into this game. So otherwise, enjoy the music, and we'll see what's going on with the betting system. See if we can get some cookie bets going, make something a little bit more interesting with the gambling aspect of the Sugar Free League. So don't go anywhere. 2 minutes away from ReBrand versus Wasted Potential. The fuck is this? There we go.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn." Minions have spawned.
I was talking that entire time, my mic was actually muted. Awesome. Alright, so there we go. As I was saying while I was talking to myself and in my slight moment of Diamond 5 casting, the high kill pressure of the bot lane of Wasted Potential is something to keep in mind. Two very squishy champions on the side of Wasted Potential is going to be very scary. We do see Prism again winding up that hook, not quite going to find anything, but level 1 is something that the Wasted Potential bot lane can excel in. Jinx and Nami do have a lot more poke and harass potential, but again, I think if one hook lands on either of the bot lane members of ReBrand, it's going to be pretty devastating. Again, especially for, it doesn't matter if Pyke gets the kill or Draven. If Draven gets the kill, he gets the cash in on his passive, and if Pyke gets the kill, especially with, or just with his ultimate, I believe that he'll get the your cut. Zap and a bubble is actually going to land from both SWBF and Gabi, going to land a lot of damage off on a Prism, getting that good early level 2 advantage down there in the bot lane. And otherwise, we are seeing Kha'Zix at his red, where he may try to apply some pressure up in the top side, and otherwise we're seeing Bezel laying down the pressure so far, or pushing mid in early. And it is actually going to be very exciting to see the itemization of this Jarvan mid. We'll see if he goes like full AD, like super assassin build, or if it goes maybe a little bit more off tank, the Black Cleaver, into some defensive stats. Having no defensive stats versus the Vigar is going to make you very susceptible to getting absolutely blown up. So we'll see what he decides to go for. I do know Bezelheim in a pretty good way as a player, and I really haven't seen him pull out the Jarvan ever. So this is actually a very exciting pick, and Papa Skips also want to carry as opposed to the tank, so we'll see how he's able to shape up to 9-line Klein here up in the top side of the jungle. Bezelheim going a little bit aggressive, landing that flagging drag on Rutledge and getting him to about half health is going to allow him to have some good lane pressure so far. It's going to be even in CS just about everywhere on the map. We are saving a little bit of CS lead on the Draven so far over the Jinx, which is to be expected. We are seeing SWBF go for the fleet footwork on the Jinx as opposed to the lethal tempo that we've seen that is a little bit more popular. Otherwise, 9-line Klein doing a good job of using the range in this melee matchup. Lands a good stun to Papa Skips, and Papa Skips gets the Conqueror proc. Here comes Acid, though, looping around the bend. Flash coming out from 9-line Klein, and Jump. It's going to secure the first blood for Acid. Wasted Potential doing a good job to secure that first blood. That is going to be a Kindle Gem bot for 9-line Klein. He's going to make sure he can get some defensive stats as well as some early cooldown reduction. Hopefully try to avoid a sticky situation like that. That was a good loop around by the Kha'Zix, making sure he went through the Tri-Brush, knowing that 9-line Klein had yet to ward, so with Kennen using his E aggressively, it did allow him for a very easy gank, and meanwhile, Bezelheim getting stunned up as here comes Acid yet again for his second gank of the game. Not quite going to do anything. Bezelheim pinging out where the jungler is, and we'll see as he starts taxing the lane a little bit, try to help Rutledge push it out. Since he is very going to try to get a recall, and we'll see what he gets for that early back. Surprised that he's actually with having Corrupting Potion, you know. And actually, Flagging Drag's going to come out. Double knock-up and barrier coming out from Rutledge Beast. A good stun coming out from the Sejuani. That's going to be Tokushiro picking up the second kill of the game. Acid is biting off a little bit more than he can chew. He's going to get stunned up as well. It's going to be a second kill for ReBrand. Bezelheim and Tokushiro each picking up a kill of their own. Very well done there in the mid lane right there, so that's very awesome. Knowing that Rutledge did not have mana made it a very sticky situation, and for one reason or another we are going to get a pause going down, so we'll take a little bit of a breather here. Acid, you know, I did understand what he was trying to do, try to help his mid lane push out since he didn't have the resources to do so, you know, try to get the wave back under tower and You know, try to get him a safe recall, and then Acid pass back to, you know, whatever other side of the map if he wants to go for the bot lane. Not very likely, knowing the very aggressive positioning of both the Draven and the Pyke, so it's going to be a little bit harder to get a gank off unless Prism is able to land a good Pyke Q off on either the Nami or the Jinx. As I said, though, because of the immobility of the Jinx and Nami lane, I do think if... It doesn't even matter if it's a Prism Q or if it's even later on in the game, if they do get a good Veigar stun, a nice Veigar cage off on either of the members, I really do think they're going to get absolutely blown to smithereens. It's going to be very hard to see. It is very nice for them to have the frontliners of the very tanky Sejuani, and I would still consider Jarvan a frontliner, even if he is not going tank or anything like that, even if he is going a more damage-oriented build. It still helps having the Flag and Drag and the Cataclysm to help the front line and try to dive the damage threats, that being the Draven Veigar of wasted potential. Otherwise, we are seeing about a 700 gold lead, maybe a little bit less in the side of ReBrand, despite the first blood going over to Acid up in the top lane. So, very good for ReBrand to pick up their gold lead. And Indigo getting very low. Another Nami ball is going to hit. It's going to result in Indigo burning Flash, and SWBF not quite going to be able to get the last damage off on Draven to finish him off, but that's going to allow Indigo to stay alive and keep his passive stacks nice and protected. It's always the pause. You know, every time there is a pause that goes down, it kind of gets you out of your groove. You kind of lose your place. You lose your train of thought of what you're doing in the lane, and you end up sleeping a little bit. Get hit by a Nami bubble. You know, Aqua Prism was very good by Gabi, and does still have the exhaust up. I do believe if Gabi had Ignite as opposed to the exhaust, I do think that definitely would have been a kill on a Draven, even despite him having to use his heal. Papa getting a little scared there as Ken uses E. Isn't sure where Tokushiro, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Tokushiro. Where Tokushiro is at, so he's going to opt to hop away there while Tokushiro is clearing up his Krug, so we'll see if he tries to opt for a top lane gank, if he decides to recall or what have you. You do see, upon Rutledge's first, we'll call it an accelerated recall, we did see he finish off the Doran's Ring and the Dark Seal, getting as much healing from the Corrupting Potion as he possibly can, and a good amount of mana regen as well, and health to come along from the Dorans, and all other else that associates Papa Skip's not quite going to find that cannon minion getting stunned up by 9-line Klein there. And again, CS is still even just about all across the board, nothing too severe. We do see Bezelheim actually opting for the Serrated Dirk first, so he is probably going to go that more damage-oriented, very heavy, scary assassin build on the Jarvan mid there, seeing if he can blow up Rutledge or whoever else he decides to go for in these late-game team fights. I think it probably would be best to use everything you can to blow up the Draven so he doesn't wreak mayhem on the rest of your team. Angel not quite going to find the hook on Jinx yet again. SWBF and Gabi doing their best to stay safe versus very high kill pressure bot lane. We do see Draven, even though he did have the BF sword finish, he has no potion, so he does not have sustain besides the relic shield of Pyke. Another hook's going to come out yet again, and SWBF doing a good job to dodge it as close as he has to get, and Aqua Prison is going to find even a minion, but we are going to see Indigo going up pretty far ahead, knowing that the Kha'Zix is there. Tokushiro comes down, and it is going to be a 3v3 down here in the bot lane. Pyke going to clear out the mid lane. Here comes Bezelheim, Cataclysm coming out, and Rutledge having nowhere to go. The barrier is going to come out, and lots of damage. Flash from Bezelheim is going to be very aggressive, and he's going to get hit by that W from the Veigar, and it's just not going to be enough damage. It is Bezelheim's second kill of the game, and Acid coming out of the bush a little bit early, but doesn't matter. They are going to find a kill. Indigo picking up a kill on the Jinx, and SWBF is going to fall, and Indigo going so very aggressive, isn't quite going to find the Nami. Tokushiro is a little bit late to the party, but that is going to result in the third kill for ReBrand on Bezelheim in the mid lane, and the second kill for Wasted Potential, that being the first kill to cash in on the Draven. So that is a very important kill for Wasted Potential to pick up, but regardless, they still are about 500 gold down. Acid looking to get a little bit aggressive, and Tokushiro's jungle isn't quite going to find the blue buff, but Pyke's going to find the hook. Tokushiro's going to flash away, and it's going to get stunned up. Gabi ulting and seeing what time he can buy, and here comes the Jinx Chompers, stunning up Angel. Auto's going to cancel, allow Tokushiro to pick that up. Meanwhile, 9-line Klein still applying a lot of the pressure. Ult coming out and is going to stun up the Klein. Klein's going to flash away, and one more auto might be enough to do it if Klein can finish it. He's going to have to opt to flash for it, and it's going to be a lot of turret damage, and the resistances from Kennedy is going to save him just in time. So another kill, his first kill. 9-line Klein up in the top lane as he gets the first turret plating up on that tower on the top side of the map. So very well done there. Was able to do that with his Kindle Gem. You know, only having the health and cooldown reduction is really all he needed. Otherwise, we are seeing both 2 kills and 1 assist on the mid lane and the jungle of ReBrand. And the first solo kill up in the top lane for 9line Klein. So, what was just a 500 gold lead is now a 2k gold lead. ReBrand doing a good job to more and more try to get the gold advantage rolling in their favor. Meanwhile, Acid looking to get his second blue buff of the game, while Sejuani tries to do the same. Up in the bot side of the jungle, getting her Gromp and more than likely finishing her recall. Both junglers do have their jungle enchantments finished. They do have the Warrior on the side of Kha'Zix and the Cinder Hulk over on the side of Sejuani. Meanwhile, top lane, we do see the team on Kled, and Kled, here comes the ult onto Bezelheim. Bezel, you may have a lot of damage with that Serrated Dirk and that Caulfield's Warhammer, but it means you're going to get blown up just as fast. So, another kill going over to Acid there. A good assist ult from Papa Skips to make sure they get in range, and we're able to pick up their 3rd kill of the game. And it looks like, despite being awarded, they're going to try to offer this Rift Herald. Sejuani making her way up through mid lane, knowing that 9line Klein is here. Does not have his ultimate yet. What is Kennen ult called? Slicing Maelstrom. Maelstrom? He's not going to find it, but he is going to go very aggressive. Here comes Tokashira and the Jinx ult to compensate. Rutledge Beast is here as well. The Baby Cage comes down, and so does 9line Klein. Stopwatch. Sejuani ult's going to go a little wide, not going to find anyone. Well, meanwhile, Rift Herald resets from the 4k health that it was at, so it looks like both teams are going to have to back off the neutral objective. Meanwhile, Indigo picking up both his BF sword and pickaxe allows him to have a very large amount of flat AD, so if Angel is able to pick up a hook, this may be a good amount of kill pressure for the side. Waste of potential here. 3 to 5 so far, 10 minutes into the game. About an 800 gold lead in the side of ReBrand. Again, from the 2k gold lead we just saw, so it's going back and forth and back and forth. Picking up that kill on the Jarvan was very good. Angel not quite going to find the hook, dodging the zap best he can. Lots of damage coming out from onto Indigo from Gabi, from Nami as well. Does have her Frostfang finished. And Pyke actually does have his boots mobility finished, so we might see some early roaming, might see, where he decides to go to try to apply some pressure to the mid lane, knowing that Kha'Zix is hovering around there and seeing if they can get some kill pressure there. But Waste of Potential is going to see the bot lane of ReBrand walk the dragon, but too little too late. ReBrand is going to pick up that first dragon of the game, that first dragon being a mountain dragon, so they're going to get that early true damage to both towers and objectives. And meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, we are seeing both Rutledge Beast and Acid trying to see if they can secure that Rift Herald. Meanwhile, we do see some collapse going on. We see Kennen does have his ultimate available, or at least close to. And here it comes. Slicing Maelstrom is able to stun up the Kha'Zix, and getting so very low, Acid is going to pick up that kill on a 9line Klein. Meanwhile, the Cataclysm is going to force Rutledge Beast to flash out, and the Ignite is going to be just enough for Bezelheim to get a double kill. Jinx Rocket is going to land on the Papa Skips as he walks out of it, and Bezelheim and Tokashira decide to opt out, chasing that Kled down in his jungle. So that is going to be the 7th kill for ReBrand, and meanwhile the bot lane is trying to push out the wave the best they can under the tower. And even though Draven does have his first kill, just for now he is trying to accumulate his passive stats. We're not seeing any more early aggression coming out from the bot lane. We do see Prism trying to find what hooks he can, but not able to find much on this Jinx-Nami duo that are doing a good job to make sure they stay passive and stay safe, because they know their time to shine is going to be in that mid to late game. Once Jinx, gets some items, she does have her Berserker Greaves finished, while Draven does have his Infinity Edge. So actually, let me make sure the stats of Infinity Edge. So since it was reverted, it is going to give you 25% crit chance, and the bonus crit damage, it being 225% damage instead of the 200 damage. Otherwise, we actually are seeing, again, as I said, the Berserker Greaves coming out from Jinx, allowing her to have more movement speed from the tier 2 boots and the attack speed. I think attack speed is probably a lot more beneficial than the early AD. So it probably would be nicer to see, since he does have the BF and pickaxe finish. I think it would be better with the Greaves being finished to start going through your Zeal item, whether it is the Rapid Fire Cannon or anything like that, but no Zeal items here. Pure Acid only needs a Serrated Dirk to finish off Gabi. Meanwhile, 9line Klein, a little bit unexpected, the 4 members in the bot lane. It's going to send Indigo running, and Bezel's going to see if he can find the flag and drag, forcing out the Draven Flash. Indigo staying safe, and meanwhile, here comes Papa Skips running in on the Kled. Just looking to see if he can protect this tower, but instead he's actually going to go a little bit aggressive, pulls Bezelheim back, and Bezelheim's going to be forced to flash away. SWBF on the Jinx is trying to get as much damage as he could, but the first tower is going to go over to ReBrand. Rift Herald doing a good job to secure that first tower of the game. 22,000 gold. 1k gold lead so far on the side of ReBrand with their first tower of the game. Meanwhile, it looks like Waste of Potential is trying to get a tower of their own. It looks like Tokashira is going to have to flash over the Vigar wall to avoid getting stunned up there. And Acid on the side, seeing if he can get a little cheeky pick off here. Going to get hit by the zap, and The rest of ReBrand is going to clear out that pin cord, but 4 members on the side of Wasted Potential are going to see if they can take down the spot lane turret. Demolish is going to be procced, and Angel trying to see if he can find a hook into the Vigar wall. Not quite going to find it. Slicing Maelstrom stunned up 4 members of Wasted Potential. 9-Line Clan is going to find his kill to Reckless Beach, and Papa Skips is going to go down to Tomoshiro. Jinx is getting excited as the double kill goes over 9-Line Clan and the cannon. Meanwhile, Bezelheim's trying to find a kill of his own, going on to Acid, and he's just not quite going to find it. Acid watching the 4 members of his team get absolutely obliterated by ReBrand. Very, very good play there. 9-Line Klein showing how devastating a slicing Maelstrom can be, flashing in there, stunning out 4 of those members. Meanwhile, Prism trying to find a kill of his own, does manage to get the hook on the Gabi. Aftershock's going to be proc, but it's not going to be a lot of damage coming out of him, only having the double longsword right now. ReBrand picking up their 2nd tower of the game if they can finish off this bot lane and turret. Meanwhile, Acid looking for yet another kill on the Bezelheim. Does have the isolation damage, but Ignite from Bezelheim just isn't going to be enough. Flag and Drag is just a little too late. That's going to be a shutdown over to Acid on this Kha'Zix. 5-2-1 thus far. So it is going to be, again, almost 16 minutes in the game. We got 16 kills already going on. It's a little bit of a fiesta. Whew! Exciting game. I have my ping in the FPS in the corner. I shouldn't have that there. Otherwise, we are seeing, even though the Draven, you know, is probably the scarier of the 280 carries right now, we only see him going 1-1. He did have to lose his passive stack for that most recent death, and meanwhile, SWBF is doing a good job having the, again, only 1 death on both 80 carries, so they are trying their best to, you know, not give out too much gold to the opposing team, but having 4 assists on that Jinx, that is a bit more kill participation, and this is going to be a lot more gold. Both Infinity Edges are going to be finished on both 80 carries. But besides that, we do see Draven having a little bit more crit with that, or those Brawler Gloves finished. Meanwhile, Bezelheim does finishes up his Youmu's and now starts to go for a little bit of resistances. Does have his Merc Treads finished, so he does have that tenacity with him, as well as the Kindle Gem, giving him that health and that CDR. Meanwhile, so far, Rutledge Beast not having the best game of his life. 0-4 right now on the Vigar, and looking to get a lot of that early armor to help him survive that very heavy damage Jarvan. So he does have that Seeker's Arm Guard, does have the Fiendish Codex for that cooldown reduction, and does have the stopwatch, so he's very, very close to finishing off that Zoni's Hourglass that will give him some survivability versus the varying damage sources of ReBrand. Make sure he doesn't get bursted out before anything can happen. Meanwhile, 4 of the members of ReBrand trying to pick up the 2nd Mountain Dragon. It'd be very nice for them to have it. Will help in their objectives. Dragon's getting very low while it resets, though. No smite from Tokushiro makes that a very dangerous dragon to go for. No Whirling Death coming out of Draven doesn't mean they can steal it or anything like that, but even if Pyke was able to land a hook, that very easily could have been a Mountain Dragon over to Wasted Potential. Meanwhile, Gabi, isolation damage is going to result in another kill, a 6th kill of the game, I add, for Acid on this Kha'Zix so far. So Gabi really needs to make sure that he stays with the team, work out that buddy system. Meanwhile, Bezelheim, Cataclysm is going to go down while Prism lands a very good hook to get him over the wall, and 9-Line Klein getting yet another solo kill up in the top side. 4-2-3 so far on this cannon. Does have a Seeker's Arm Guard finish with the Sword Shoes, helping with that magic penetration, as we saw there, to finish off that Kled up in the top lane. But having 7 kills in this Kha'Zix is going to be very, very scary for the squishies of ReBrand. Again, Jinx and not... Oh my god, that is such a very scary noise from that Pyke ult. Lost my train of thought because I got spooked. Yeah, 7 kills in the Kha'Zix. You know, very scary assassin to have. As we see him on the side here, you know, Jinx could very potentially... All it needs is a Vigar stun, and that's all it's going to take. Acid is unstoppable. So he's just going to flash over that wall. Having the wings evolve does allow him to get the reset on that next jump. And Indigo getting very low from the turret shot there. A little too low for comfort. And again, that's going to be his 8th kill of this game. 900 gold bounty. So if ReBrand are able to pick up the kill on the Acid, they do... Again, there wasn't a huge gold lead in the entirety of this game. They did have a 2k gold lead at one point, but now they're just trying to establish their... about 500 gold lead right now, or almost 600. So they do have the 2 turrets over Wasted Potential, but again, having this very scary Kha'Zix can blow up the Nami, as we saw, can blow up the Jinx, and can blow up anyone that gets stunned up by the Vigar. Meanwhile, Gabi, yet again, so very just susceptible with his positioning, and the exhaust is going to come out with Papa Skips getting slowed by the Sejuani W, but it just isn't going to be enough. Meanwhile, 9-Line Klein teleporting in to see if he can prevent any more danger from going down. It's going to be a little bit of a stalemate. We are seeing both teams now trying to flex up around this mid lane. Zap is going to land on the Papa Skips, and 9-Line Klein eating away. Doesn't want to get too close into the face of the Draven, who again does have his Infinity Edge, and he is working on that first Zeal item, as is the Jinx. Meanwhile, we do see the Serrated Dirk and the Caulfield's Warhammer on the pike, so we are either going to see that Dustblade or the Yomu's come out for him. It's going to be very nice to see. Again, it doesn't even matter if, you know, the support role of the pike doesn't particularly matter if his team starts to fall apart. If you get a good pike reset with the ult, man, you can clean up like an absolute monster. So, Wasted Potential does have a lot of damage threat, and they can turn this around as soon as they get some more items and they, you know, just getting more damage under their belts in general. They may be able to take this back from ReBrand. Otherwise, though, we do see 5 of the members doing a good job to siege up that mid lane turret. That does help them open up the map. Seeing what else they can get here. The top side outer turret is still up for Wasted Potential, so that's it, or maybe their next goal, knowing that the bot lane outer turret is down. Maybe sending the bot lane members up to the top side, see if they can finish off that outer turret, see if they can get their 4th tower to Wasted Potential's 1 tower. So again, so far it is 11 to 9. Not the other way around. It's 11 to 9 so far. ReBrand doing a good job to keep their lead. 3-0-4 so far, and the very Tokushiro is trying his best to match up to the very damage-oriented iPure Acid. And 8-2 on the Kha'Zix, but a little bit less of a gold bounty now instead of the 900. Oh, wait, it went from... I know it was 900, then it went to 800, and now just in the blink of an eye as I was watching it, is gone to 950 gold. So if ReBrand is able to pick up that bounty off on the Kha'Zix, it's going to be a massive gold swing their way, you know, as opposed to, you know, hey, kill the Draven, you kill the Kled, or anyone else, it's just going to give you 300 gold, or I guess less, depending on, you know, or... Yeah, it's all dependent, I guess, on who's there and who's splitting up the assist gold and all that, but in general, about 300 gold. And if you pick up, however, if you pick up the kill on the Acid, you know, 950 gold, that sounds a lot juicier than 300 gold you would get. And despite Rutledge being 0-4 in the Vigar so far, he does have a 450 gold bounty of his own. Meanwhile, Papa skips. Yet again, not quite getting hit up by the zap, but going to get stunned. And that's going to be Tokushiro on a rampage. Acid jumping in to see if he can finish off Gabi. That's going to be another kill jumping away, and 9-line Klein isn't going to find the stun he wants. Slicing Maelstrom isn't quite going to find anything else but a shutdown on the Rutledge Beast. Tokushiro stunning up Prism as well. Lots of damage coming out from the Sejuani. And the heal from Indigo is going to save Angel from the rocket coming out from Jinx. What is the rocket called? Super Mega Death Rocket. I should have known that, being an AD carry main. So not quite going to find that last kill, but it is going to be 3 members of Wasted Potential dead to ReBrand. And it looks like ReBrand's going to go for a Baron in response. There is really no way they can contest this. You do see Prism over on the side here. We're actually seeing a teleport coming out from Papa Skips. 2k on this Baron. Hook not quite going to find anything, but here comes the Kledo. ReBrand securing that Baron. SWBF getting separated from his team, but Papa Skips is not quite going to find the pullback that he needs. Indigo picking up a kill on the Bezelheim. It's going to be that Jarvan the 4th falling while 9-line Klein tries his best to make out. Pike chailing up the hook is not quite going to find it, and that's going to result in 9-line Klein being able to swiftly move out of there. It's going to be Baron buff on 4 of the members of ReBrand so far, and we're actually seeing the Spear of Shojin, I believe? Spear of Shojin coming out from Jarvan. So once he actually does ult, you know, having that Awakened Dragon, I guess, which was originally the previous Essence Flare, giving him that attack speed and the reduced cooldown on those remaining abilities. We are seeing the first dragon of the game for Wasted Potential being picked up, that being the Infernal Dragon. It's very much going to help, being one of the most valuable dragons. Having some extra damage on this Kha'Zix and on this Draven is very much going to benefit the side of Wasted Potential. So again, no tank front line is making it so Jinx can really get away with a lot more than she should. She was having to burn that flash there at the Baron to, you know, get away from the Kled, but otherwise not too much else is going to really stop this Jinx once she's able to get excited. They do get a good Nami ult and the various amounts of crowd control that ReBrand has, you know, slicing Maelstrom and the man, I'm really trying to test myself on ultimate ability names. Glacial Prison. For some reason I didn't want to guess that. So the Glacial Prison, you know, allows for really long range engage. If 9-line Klein does have his flash to get in with their slicing Maelstrom, they can stun up 5 members of Wasted Potential very easy. I'm having trouble remembering the team names as well for some reason. My brain's going a little slow tonight, as it is usually, I suppose. Otherwise, we're looking at the items of both AD carries. You do see the Infinity Edge and the Static Shiv finished on the Draven, and otherwise we're seeing the Infinity Edge and the Runon's Hurricane finished on the Jinx, so both AD carries having their Infinity Edge and their respective Zeal items finished. Meanwhile, Prism not quite going to find the hook, and Bezelheim's doing his best to clear out the vision, and knowing that he doesn't have that flag drag, Acid tries to go a little bit aggressive with that jump, but not quite going to find anything. Otherwise, ReBrand doing their best to see if they can siege up this top lane turret. Having the Baron buff does allow them to poke down the turret slowly. Jinx doing her best to land some good zaps, and Again, very tanky on the Sejuani. He does have her Warmogs finished, and here comes a Cataclysm. You know, once Acid finishes his jump, and it's actually going to be Bezelheim falling to Acid, and so much is going up in the top lane, and Draven's going to get rooted up at the Jinx Chompers, and a pull is actually going to make Jinx, you know, tank a turret shot, take a second turret shot, as well as a Draven Axe. Indigo is going to pick up that kill in the SWVF, and Waste of Potential are going to do a good job defending this inner top lane turret, and Acid going in again, and Plant's going to get Gabi to safety, but not Tokushiro. Is going to be in the middle of 4 members of Waste of Potential, and that's going to be Gabi flashing away, so he's not the 5th member falling. So much going on there, 15 to 15, even though we did see the little bit of a skirmish going back and forth from Acid and Bezelheim. I very much thought that Bezelheim was going to be the victor of that little skirmish back and forth, but just goes to show you really cannot fight this Kha'Zix that is 11-3, especially if you're having to deal with isolation damage. So, and again, I really don't think, even though Spear of Shojin may be nicer on the things like Jax and maybe Fiora and whatnot, I think with this Jarvan, you really need to focus on having more AD, more armor penetration to just absolutely blow up one target. You're not really looking for DPS. So, it's not really these skirmishing, elongated 1v1s you're looking for. It's for these assassinations that I think you're looking for with the Jarvan the 4th. And meanwhile, Papa Skip's trying to see if he can suicide for the top lane inner turret. He is going to get it, but getting stunned up by the Jinx Chompers is definitely going to result in him being dead. So that's going to be a second kill going over to SWBF, who is very much needing some gold right now to see what other items he can pick up here on the Jinx. And that's going to be the second pause of the game. Actually, what happened? I didn't have my overlay. Whoops-a-daisy. You guys should have let me know. SWBF is actually going to disconnect, so maybe having some connectivity problems, even though he did pick up that kill onto Papa Skips. So we'll see what's going on there. I do believe you can get rid of the time controls, but I just covered it anyway with the title. So, yeah. So otherwise, again, the game is looking very even right now. We did see ReBrand holding a lead for the large majority of it. They do have the 2 dragons to the 1, and having 2 mountains, you know, does allow them to take the Baron buff very easily that we had saw earlier, but with their siege up in the top lane, they really weren't able to get too much, you know, accomplished with it. Meanwhile, Waste of Potential doing a good job to swing the gold lead back in their favor, doing a good job to defend the siege up in the top lane, and not only that, but pick up a good amount of kills as well. Even though a lot of the members of Waste of Potential are doing so hot, Indigo and Acid are doing their bests. As well as Angel, actually. Angel having the least amount of deaths with his Draven as well, and 7 assists, being a little less than half of the kills in the game. I think he's doing just as well, so we can't completely cut him out of the efforts that are allowing Waste of Potential to get back into this game. Not sure how long this pause is going to be, though. I'm not really sure. Don't have too much information on what's going on with the Jinx disconnection, so we'll just wait and we'll just have a little chat otherwise. I think that what is actually the second game going on the first channel? What's oh wait, he disconnected again for the second time. Interesting. Let me take a look at the schedule. So I know it's only 9:10 right now, but at 9:30, what we got here? Akuma Blades and Paragon 5 at 9:30, casted by Kois. So another good caster, another good series, good teams to watch as well. So if you want to stick around with me while I finish up this best of 3 series, that's absolutely fine. If you want to head over to the primary stream to hang out with Kois a little bit, either way, you're going to get some good quality games, a good series on each side. Maybe this will be a quick 2-game series, then we can all go have a party on the main Sugar Free League stream, and finally getting back into the game. Again, this is still a very even game for both ReBrand and Waste of Potential so far. We do see Bezelheim almost as his flash back up, so we may see a little bit of a flash engage. I do want to see him try to engage on the Draven with the rest of the diving members of ReBrand. See if they can get that immobile AD carry out of the way. Indigo still does not have his flash, so if they do get a Cataclysm down, as well as the Glacial Prison and Slicing Maelstrom, there's really no way he can avoid it. I think the only thing that would really help is maybe having the members stunned up by a Vigar cage, or maybe having one of them pulled away from the Pike queue, you know, to pull the, you know, threat away from the AD carry. But otherwise, I really don't see too many protective factors of ReBrand. Or, Jesus, I keep mixing up the teams of Waste of Potential if the Draven is in trouble, but otherwise we're going to see all the members. Flag Drag not quite going to land on Papa Skips, although the Zap does, and they're going to see if they can yet again try to go for this inner bot lane turret, inner top lane turret, I should say. Goodness gracious me. I'm slipping today. Glacial Prison is going to find Papa Skips, but they're really not looking to engage on it. Bezelheim is going to get pulled into that Vigar wall. Very nasty interaction. Papa Skips are looking to get very low, and he's actually going to ult in. excuse me, the Nami ult is coming out to disengage. Just want to take their advantage from the one turret they had gotten. Pike Hook isn't going to find anything, but the stun is slicing Maelstrom, stunning out 3 members. Nylon Clan going to finish off the kill, and the Rutledge Beast and Super Mega Death Rocket is really just going to land in the faces. Tokushiro getting hooked up, and Angel trying to see if he can find more, but not quite going to find anything. It's going to be 2 members of ReBrand down, and only 1 for wasted potential, so they weren't able to defend that top lane inner turret, but they were able to prevent anything else from happening. So damage control is a very important thing for wasted potential. If you're not going to win, you just need to minimize your losses. You need to make sure you can, get back into the game. I very much love the, even though I don't like the overall team composition of wasted potential, I think the, what would I call it? The interaction, I guess, between the Pike Q and the Vigar wall. So if someone is trapped inside that Vigar wall, because the typical thing is to do, like dance around, and I'll just walk into the wall. If you get Pike Hook, in the middle of, well, you only have so much space to dance around that Vigar stun. Once you're in the middle of it, you have so much range to try to avoid it. So if Prism is able to read you correctly, read your movements to see where it's going to be able to throw that hook, that's a guaranteed stun, not just from the Pike Hook and the Pike stun that can follow up from it, from the Vigar wall as well. So I very much love seeing that combination. I'm not sure if that was really an intended combination of wasted potential or not, but meanwhile, very, very cheeky play here. They don't have vision of it. Are they going to be able to find the 5-man cheese brush? Papa Skips do a good job seeing if there was anyone in that small brush there in the river, but their cheeky little cheese isn't going to work this time. Otherwise, Baron is up. 17-17 so far, but ReBrand had a gold lead this entire game, and that wasted potential are the ones with the gold lead, and they're trying to accumulate a little bit more of a gold lead. Papa Skips isn't quite going to find the, I actually don't know Cledult name, at all. Let me see. It's actually called Charge. Okay, so the Charge isn't going to find anyone, so Cledult being wasted there. A very important teamfight ultimate isn't going to find anybody, so having that down is an advantage for ReBrand. SWBF is trying to walk around. 9-line Klein is actually going to walk into the face of Acid, flashing away as well. Acid trying to find more, and the Slicing Maelstrom's going to come out to try to turn on what she can, try to avenge his AD carry. Papa Skip's getting stunned up, but it's not going to be too much damage coming out. Tokushiro, Glacial Person, is going to land on the Cled, and they're not going to find anything more. Indigo trying to get some kill of his own, does end up on a rampage, finishing off Gabi, and Bezelheim picks up a kill off onto Papa Skips. That's going to be another kill, his 13th of the game. On the Acid, shutdown from 9-line Klein, finishing up Indigo. Angel stunning up the members of ReBrand the best he can. He's so very low, but that's going to be a double kill for 9-line Klein on this Kleptomancy Cannon. Zoni's Hourglass is going to come out from Rutledge, and Acid isn't quite sure how to help his mid laner. Does jump in the end, though. Rutledge does manage to burst 9-line Klein, and Acid and Tokushiro going back and forth. The BM from Acid almost cost him his life. The Yomu's Ghostblade is coming up. Oh my god, the jump is coming out as well, but Tokushiro is healing up so much from the Warmog. He's not quite going to find the W, but oh my god, the only 2 remaining members from the entire skirmish of the junglers, and SWBF is coming in as well. He's going to see if he can pick up the kill into Acid. Jumping in, and SWBF almost gets absolutely blown up. 900 gold going over to the Jinx, and that's going to be a death. 45-second death timer. And now ReBrand are possibly going to look to Baron. Oh my god, I can't believe Acid actually tried to get away with it, recalling in the face of Tokushiro. Had he not done that, had he not recalled, he just autoed that Sejuani, none of that would have happened. That small amount of BM might have cost waste potential this Baron. 2k health in this Baron right now. Angel isn't going to quite steal with that Pike Q. Oh my god, so... I can't believe. I cannot believe. Oh, I don't like flaming people on Acid. Acid, I cannot believe you tried to get away with that. You greedy player. And not only that, not only after chasing Tokushiro all the way to the top side of the map, but as though nothing happened and not paying attention to the Jinx respawn timer, Jinx was able to respond. Tokushiro was able to heal up from that massive amount of health regen coming out from the Warmog's armor, and then Acid just decides, I'm going to do your Krugs. Hey, dude, I'm glad that we just had that huge skirmish of both of our teams. Both of our teams died. They suck, right? Let me just grab your Krugs. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever gotten excited, or that excited casting before. Oh my god. Whew! Otherwise, despite that, again, waste of potential before all that had gone down, they had a gold lead. but no longer. Now there's a 2K goalie on the side of ReBrand yet again. They do have five members with this Baron available. Acid is in the river right now trying to set up vision. Or hiding? I'm not quite sure. There's 40 seconds left on the Dragon. He's still got a little bit of a while to wait on that, but meanwhile, the 5 members of ReBrand trying to siege up this mid tower. Glacial Prison is going to find his way on a pop of skips. And it's going to result in the mid lane turret being found. Tokishiro trying his best to find Acid, and lots of isolation damage coming from Tokishiro. This Acid is not quite going to find the jump over the wall, and Papa Skips is going to engage and result in a great Cataclysm. It's going to result in Indigo flashing away, and the slicing Maelstrom is able to find Rutledge Beast. And Acid, even though he ulted in, he's going to have to flash away. Both summoners being burnt on him, and the members of Waste of Potential, 3 of them down while only Bezelheim falls. A very good Cataclysm, even though it cost him his life, did allow much more to happen because of it. And again, I think the members, members of Waste of Potential are at this point being some tilted potential. They're really throwing this game away that very well could have been theirs. SWBF, though, eating that pike hook. He's going to take a lot of damage there. Going to try to heal up the best he can. Does have his second Zeal item finish. Does allow him to have a lot of attack speed. Getting excited there. Crit's going to go off into prison, but not quite going to find anything. That's going to be the first inhib of the game being found by ReBrand. I really do think right now, especially if you are Acid, if you're in the shoes of Acid right now, you have 13 kills and the rest of your team isn't quite performing up to standard. I can understand his tilt a little bit. They were able to find the second Infernal while ReBrand only has the one Infernal, so again, in terms of neutral objectives, it's okay, but, you know, to hang around Dragon for as long as he did and then to be on that side of the map where he did try to find Tokishiro, he was able to chunk down the Sejuani to less than half health, with a lot of that damage coming out from the Kha'Zix, but once the rest of the members of ReBrand were able to follow up, and Papa Skips not having the best of charges in, and, you know, did result in more of the members, you know, feeling that they needed to follow up even though the jungler had died. I think the best kill, or the best what would you call it? The best decision to make there was probably, you know, just let the jungler die, reset to try to defend the best way we can, but, you know, you try to fight it out with as soon as your most fed member is already dead and you end up losing an inhib for it. Baron is still on the members of ReBrand, even though it was a second ago, but no longer, as they try to go for their second inhib of the game in the spot side of the map right now. Tokishiro is so very tanky on the Sejuani, does have the Warmog's armor. I'm not quite sure about the Iceborne Gauntlet. I don't think that's something I've seen too much, but I am not a tank Sejuani player. We'll have to ask Fallen Artemis on that one if the Iceborne Gauntlet is the way to go. Otherwise, we're seeing the Gargoyle Stoneplate and the Cinderholt coming out as well. I don't mean to flame Fallen. That wasn't flame. I know he just loves his Sejuani. What's wrong with loving a champion? I'm not trying to flame, man. Hell, I don't even think he's played any Sejuani recently. I think he likes Kindred now. And Graves. Being a man. Anyway, Vygar's son isn't quite going to find Tokishiro. And the members of ReBrand trying to play this very slowly, letting these super minions flood into the base of Waste of Potential. Acid doing his best to clear the waves the best he can, while, again, it's so very beneficial for you to have these tanky members of ReBrand. Again, even though you had a lot of the damage coming out from the Jarvan, now he's going a lot tankier. He does have the Stair Escape finish. He is working on that Tiamat. That's probably going to go into a, not Ravenous Hydra, but a Titanic Hydra. Prism not quite going to find the hook on a Jinx, but lots of damage coming out from the Evolved Kha'Zix W. Doing a good job to defend this turret. They're not really... The siege of ReBrand isn't quite good unless they can get the rocket autos off onto the tower, but Vygar W, or Vygar E, I believe, is actually a devastating thing to deal with when you are sieging up a tower. It does allow a lot of the area that you might be looking for to siege to just be, you know, territory of which you cannot cross, and we'll see if it comes down again. Depending on if Jinx walks up and see if they can auto the turret. 9-line Klein auto is probably going to do more than anything there. That's going to come out into Vygar, and again, Prism is not quite going to find the hook he needs, and super minions are flooding into the base. Let's see if I can work my hotkeys down. Nope. Nope. Come on, there we go. I gotta get better at this. Gotta get better at the switching. Switch? Wait, that's not it. Wait, why won't it switch? There we go. Anyway, ReBrand again. Glacial Prison is actually going to find its way into Papa Skip's Cataclysm. Lots of damage coming out from Rutledge Beast, the Zonia's Hourglass, and Jinx autos with the Runon's Hurricane is going to allow for a lot of AoE damage. Super Ragged Death Rocket is going to find that kill for SWBF, and Pykel is going to find anyone. SWBF is on a rampage, and Indigo is going to just into the rest of the team of ReBrand, and the second inhib is going to be picked up. A shutdown for Jinx 6, 4, and 9. so far. 6-3 on the 6-3-7 on the Draven, and IPR Acid flashing into the face of SWBF. That's going to be a shutdown for him. The reset on the jump is actually going to result in him getting a double kill. Tokashiro is the only member left remaining, even though they got the 2 inhibs. That's going to be an ace. 4 wasted potential, triple kill on Acid, 17-5 on the Kha'Zix. Doesn't matter what the rest of his team is doing. 3 members on the side of wasted potential dead. It does not matter. IPR Acid doing a good job to play janitor, cleaning up the low members of ReBrand. SWBF really needs to be wary of his position. He's allowing himself over and over again to just get isolated and blown up by this Kha'Zix. All you need to do when it comes to a really fed Kha'Zix is play the buddy system. You know, it doesn't matter if it's the Sejuani or the Nami or anyone else. Just hold someone's hand. Make sure, play the buddy system, hold their hand, and say, please protect me. I am vulnerable, I am weak, please help me. I cannot do anything on my own. You need to have that type of mindset when playing something as immobile as a Jinx versus a very fed Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is now full build, Death's Dance, Youmuu's Ghostblade, Duskblade of Drakthar, and the Moral Reminder coming out from this Kha'Zix. Such very devastating damage. Tokashiro almost being full build as well, and I guess just about everyone is getting close to full build, and there goes Gabi. Acid is unstoppable. Doesn't matter if Bezelheim's with him as he tries to get that damage down. This Kha'Zix is just an absolute menace. Level 18 when nobody else in the game is. 28-28 right now. The game in terms of kills and gold is dead even. The only thing that ReBrand has the advantage of are the 8 towers to 3, and the 1 more dragon having 2 mountains is going to allow them to look for the Baron as they are right now. 2 of the members of Wasted Potential are looking at the dragon, and ReBrand possibly know that. That is going to be the Elder Dragon over to Wasted Potential. Meanwhile, the Vigar Cage and the Draven are coming out, and are they going to be able to find it? And that is going to be ReBrand picking up that Baron, seeing if they can get that empowered recall. Bezelheim's so very low! No, the Pike ult finishes off Bezelheim the last second of that recall. That's just not something you want to see, an absolute tilter. So he is going to have a 45-second death timer there, and the rest of Wasted Potential are going to try to walk up the mid lane. Meanwhile, Papa Skip's doing his best to clear up. I hate that noise, it's so scary. Clear up the super minions of this bot side. Their only inhib being down is that bot lane. The members that were alive and are still remaining of ReBrand do have their Baron buff, but having Elder Dragon does allow Wasted Potential, if I could stop mixing up the team names, that'd be fantastic, to have so much more team fighting capability. Woo! What a hypey game! I really did think that ReBrand, for the most part, as soon as I saw how the game was going, I really thought that Wasted Potential was losing their footing a little bit, but Acid showing how much of a solo carry he can be. Indigo, again, I think the members of the Wasted Potential bot lane are doing just about as well as they can as well, but they're not this insane force to be reckoned with, such as the Kha'Zix. So they're doing their best to, remain relevant and try to apply the, the utility and the small amount of damage they can. I can't even say small now that Draven is almost full build. Does have the QSS finished, so if he does get Glacial Prison, he is able to cleanse that. And we are seeing the Edge of Night, as well as the Duskblade and the Chain Vest coming out from Angel, who has been able to find a few good Pike ultimates. Death from Below, what an edgy name. Meanwhile, we are seeing, knowing that they have the supers down there in the bot lane, trying to see if they can push the top side, and here comes Kled. Charge! See if they can get that last kill. SWBF getting absolutely blown up, having to resurrect with the Guardian Angel. Prism trying to see if they can get that Q in, and the Slicing Maelstrom is going to absolutely devastate Prism. It's going to be a kill onto him, and Papa Skips is getting very low. He's going to dismount. SWBF is so very low, and here comes Acid! Is he going to get the reset? Double kill from Indigo, and lots of damage coming up from the Jinx. It's going to be a 1,000 gold bounty. Chasing down Papa Skips, 1 auto, 2 auto. That's going to be enough. SWBF is the only remaining member left in this entire game. It's going to be an ace for ReBrand, and they're trying to see if they can end the game here. They do have 33 set. Why are you going for the inhib? That's what I thought. Go in the game. Clear those minions. There you go. There you go. Alright, so that is going to be the first game. 33-33, and the gold is almost dead even. But that is going to be game 1 over to ReBrand. Wow! That was such an awesome game. Woo! Man, that got me so hyped. League of Legends. Woo! Man. So very, very close game. In all the games that I've casted, of the sugar-free league, I don't think I've ever casted a game where it was just dead even, 33 to 33, 19 kills, and that caused Zeke's a very, very good game for Ass, and 8, 4, and 12 on Indigo for Draven as well. Not a bad game at all as well. So we'll take a look at the damage here as, oh my goodness, that's insane. All right, let's take a look at the damage. So 44,000 damage caused Zeke's being followed up by Indigo on the 38,000. So score doesn't matter. It's going to deal a lot with, you know, what damage you can deal, what damage you can tank up for the rest of your team, and all other associated. So if anyone wants to look at any sort of stats, please let me know. I'll try to get through everything that I can here, but Rutledge Beast not dealing any damage. It's a 41-minute game and dealing only 19,000 on a mid lane mage. One especially is very scary as the Vigar. It's definitely not what you want to see, but not a lot of damage coming out from the Jarvan alternatively. So we did see a lot of good Cataclysm coming out from Bezelheim. Did force Indigo's flash a lot of the time, so he was able to apply a lot of pressure there. And Sejuani doing almost as much damage as the Jarvan in the mid lane, and lots of damage coming out. The most from ReBrand is going to be that cannon landing so many good slicing maelstroms in those team fights, and 32,000 from the Jinx, and we'll take away the damage. And who's going to be the Vision leader for this game? Vision score is going to be Prism, 133 Vision score. Just, that is actually, hold on, I actually want to see how many control wards is that. That's got to be a considerable amount. So 11 coming out from Prism, and a good amount coming out from everybody just about. So, but that is a much, much better Vision score than anyone else in the game. So very well done by Prism, and very well done overall by the members of ReBrand and Wasted Potential, who did their best to hang in there for that 41-minute game. So I'll try to get this next game set up, and I'll have a couple-minute intermission. So stay tuned, and we'll try to get Game 2 of Wasted Potential and ReBrand going as I get everything set up on the stream. I'm a lone man. I got to take some time to do it. Alrighty. Second game of ReBrand and Waste Potential is right here. Already see 4 bands coming out. We're seeing Gangplank again, no surprise there. Ralsar band being taken off the table for Gabi as well, and Lucian and Scion being taken away. So we'll see if Acid's Kha'Zix is going to come through again. Alright, let me make sure I close everything though. I don't want to be distracted. So the Zoe band's actually going to come out for Bezelheim, and we'll see if the last ban, or ban for rebrand. Ban for rebrand. Ban the rebrand. Rebrand. Kha'Zix. No surprise there. Again, Acid having almost 20 kills on that last game. I think it's, and more, so it's very justified to ban it away. So no surprise there, and we'll see what Waste Potential decides is the most important pickup for this first game. We do see Shed is left up though, as was banned away by ReBrand in that first game away from Papa Skips. So we'll see if Papa or Angel decide to want to pick up that Shen for that bonus presence around the map, depending on where it goes. I can't say, you know, just to the bot lane, because it could potentially go to, again, to support and, you know, ult mid and top and all other pressure that you could apply with it. Again, Lucian is not going to be put on either of the 80 carries this time around, and instead of SWBF, we're actually seeing Zyzo on 80 carry for ReBrand this time around. We're actually going to see the Olaf picked up for what looks like Tokushiro, but could very well be 9-line Klein, or God knows, Bezelheim's crazy enough to pull it out. So, see where that Olaf decides to go as we get the second pick for ReBrand going here. Lux is picked up for Rutledge Beast though, or it could be Angel with the Lux support. And this, I very much dislike Season 9. It's so hard to tell where all these different picks are going to go, and they're actually deciding to take away the Pike from Angel. Again, a pick that Angel is so very comfortable on that, you know, taking it away from him kind of shows a certain amount of respect, saying that we're not banning it, but we will take it away. We don't want you to have the opportunity of picking it away from us. So that is going to be Gabi on that Pike support. You know, we'll see what Acid and Rutledge pick up here for the rest of their team. Waste of Potential, again, did do a good job in keeping your heads above water for a good majority of that game, but we did see a few tilt plays that I really not like to see. So hopefully they can, you know, mentally reset, make sure they can get back into this game 2 like game 1 didn't even happen, and see if they can pick up the win for game 2 and bring it to a good game 3. Meanwhile, Morgana is going to get picked up for Angel, so it's going to be Morgana Ezreal, so a very, very safe bot lane this time around, as opposed to the very, very aggressive bot lane that we saw Indigo and Angel pick the first time, that being the Draven and the Pike. So this time around they're saying, let's pick something a little bit more passive, maybe, you know, just farm, apply some good utility, that being the Morgana bind, the Black Shield and whatnot, and having Ezreal to Arcane shift around, having the Iceborne Gauntlet and all the other rest of Ezreal kit. You know, it allows that bot lane to be very, very safe. See if Indigo likes to go for TP or the heal, if they like to go for 2v2 skirmishes more. But otherwise, we're actually going to see Zyzo on Ashe, a pick that I very much love and hold very, very close to my heart. I do love Ashe, and I don't like Ashe Pike as much, but I do think it's very good for the Pike to have an Ashe, because it does help the Pikes. I think it's more, you pick Ashe to help the Pike out and clean up and have Pike do more of the damage and more of the killing. You know, having the slows from W and auto attacks and having the long range stun engage, I think it allows him to do more rather than vice versa, rather than the Pike enabling the Ashe. So, otherwise, we are seeing the Shen taken away and the aggressive jungle pick of the Xin Zhao taken away from Acid as well. So they're not wanting to give him anything too scary, and they're actually going to ban away Jarvan. I don't know who that ban is intended for, but I think there's 3 members of ReBrand that Jarvan ban hits, so I think it's a pretty safe ban nonetheless. I think it's a very valuable one. If they're not wanting the full AD Jarvan, if they're not wanting the Jarvan jungle or anything like that. Otherwise, we're seeing the Akali hovered, but not going to be locked in. They're going to lock in that if they don't switch it back. Not the Orianna, but the Ahri for Bezelheim up in the mid lane, going against Lux on what it believes looks like. Oh, look, I got Ezreal picked for me. How cute. How nice that people are picking Ezreal for me. That's awesome. I love watching Ezreal play. Ezreal Ashe are 2 of my favorite AD carries, like, in terms of the entire marksman selection. So I'm very excited either way. This is a beneficial game for me. I love watching both AD carries play such champions. Again, I don't like watching Pike much, but again, I can sit here and rant about Season 9, or I guess not Season 9, he was brought out in Season 8, but newer League of Legends champions, I'm not going to sit here and rant about how I think Pike is probably one of the most silly champions to be introduced to League of Legends, but we are actually going to see the Ornn support, or actually no, not Ornn support. I think Ornn, when it has been picked up recently, I don't like this song, so I'm going to skip it if you guys don't mind. I'm not sure where that Ornn's going to go, but anytime I have seen Ornn recently, it has been in the support role. I think Ornn support has been the most popular pick for it recently. We see it some top lane, but really not as often as we're seeing it used in support. And otherwise, we're actually going to see Acid on the Kayn. So that looks like it's going to be a Kayn versus Olaf matchup in the jungle, and we're going to see 9-line Klein on his infamous Gnar. So, comfort picks coming out from ReBrand. Bezelheim on Ahri is something that he is, again, as far as I know, very comfortable with. I think Zyzo is someone that very much loves his Ashe as well. So, I'm not sure about Gabi on Pike. I don't know Gabi or Tokushiro well enough to know their champion pools, but as far as I know, ReBrand picking up a lot of good comfort picks, and I'd say a good amount of comfort picks coming out from Waste of Potential as well. We do see Papa Skips and Gnar, or excuse me, Papa Skips and 9-line Klein, so it's going to be that Ornn and Gnar matchup. So, as opposed to last game, Waste of Potential are going to have that tanky front line that they lacked last game. I really think they could have done a lot more had they had that tanky front line, but having that Kled, they really didn't get too many charges off either. They didn't get too many good Kled ultimates. You know, there was probably 1 or 2 that did allow them to get off a good picker or 2, but I think having this Ornn for engage, and especially knowing that there's no Braum in the game either, they can't really neglect it too easily. So I think what is it called, the Ram God or something along those lines, I think is it's going to be a lot more beneficial to have up from the top lane, and we're going to see the Kayn and the Olaf in the jungle matchup. We're actually seeing Lux opt for the cleanse versus this Ahri to be able to cleanse that Ahri charm and Ashe Stun. So I think it's a very, very good and smart pickup for a Summoner Spell and Rutledge Beast. And otherwise in the bot lane, we're going to see Indigo and Angel versus Zyzo and Gabi. Ezreal Morgana, which again, a lot more safe, versus Ashe and Pike that I think are going to be very utility-based. And I think if Ahri, Olaf, Gnar are able to do a lot of damage, I think Pike is going to be able to clean up if he gets a good enough reset off. So this game, that will start in about 2 minutes. We'll be getting underway. Game 2. ReBrand versus Waste Potential. Don't go anywhere. We'll get right back into it. And welcome back. Let's see what we got going on in all chat. Tokushiro is Toku shitting. Great. I'm gonna hide that. Awesome. Okay, so game 2 of the series, ReBrand versus Wasted Potential. I don't know why I'm having trouble remembering the names so very much, but for some reason I keep drawing a blank. So hopefully we get these games back rolling. We do see the lethal tempo in Ash, which is something I do like to opt for. I want to see if Zyzo does go for the traditional, you know, Blade of the Ruin King and a Zeal item into Infinity Edge, or now with the Infinity Edge reverts, you might see a bit more crit-oriented Ash early. You might see the Infinity Edge early and a Zeal item or a second Zeal item. And, you know, what? There's so many ways you can switch it up with Ash. But again, I'm always going to mention this anytime I see an Ash pick. I love sharing this. I really do think, and especially with the Essence Revert. That's strange. I do think maybe not the best. I think it would be very situational, but I do think one of the most useful Ash builds you can currently go right now is the Essence Revert into Black Cleaver build, because let's see. Oh, it says streams or cookies are open. I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. Thank you. Thank you. So it's closed. Cookie bets are closed. It does typically close 45 minutes after the first game starts. So if you're not here for the first game, you're pretty much shit out of luck for betting. Because, you know, if one team wins and then you, like, wait to save your bets until you know, game 2, and you're like, oh, they're about to win, I'll just bet now, then, you know, it's kind of cheating. You should have to bet, like, even before the first game starts, but, you know, who's going to actually come in here when there's no games, and blah, blah, blah. So, Essence Reaver Black Cleaver Ash, I think it is the best because not only does it allow you to have 40% CDR, but you do get the Phage movement speed passive, so that very much helps Ash, who has a lack of mobility and does rely so much on catching up to her opponents and chasing them down. Having that extra Phage bonus movement speed does help her out a absolute ton. Having that Black Cleaver as well, I'm not sure if many people realize, but the Black Cleaver passive pretty much is the armor shred is applied based on every source of physical damage applied, and when you have the 4th stack and the Q activated on Ash, one auto attack will apply all Black Cleaver stacks in one auto, because they actually act as tiny little mini autos. So if you activate Q on Ash and you have a Black Cleaver, boom, instantly someone's armor is gone. And I think that utility is actually invaluable. I think it's so very good to have. And not only that, again, 40% CDR allows you to double all the time, allows you to ult more often. You can pretty much just be a utility stun bot. So I think there's a lot of benefits to going that build. You know, if you do it in ranked, you're going to get called a troll like me, but, you know, fuck them. Anyway, we are seeing Indigo on the Ezreal. Again, Kleptomancy Ezreal is pretty much all we're going to see in terms of diversity. And we're actually going to see Gavi landing the first hook of the game. It's going to result in Angel having to flash away. Good presence landing from Gavi and Zyzo early in the game there. Zyzo being popular from his days in Gargoyle Bukake. So we'll see what he can do on this Ash, getting subbed out for SWBF. Oh god, why can't I remember these names? I think I just dislike the names. My brain doesn't want to remember them. Let's see if ReBrand has some more success, if they are able to, with the utility Zyzo bot. Otherwise, we are seeing with the Lux and the Ahri in the mid lane, we do see Rutledge Beast did opt for the cleanse, so that is going to help him out when it comes to the Ash arrow, when it comes to the Ahri charm, when it comes to the Pike stun, Kled stun, and all the other different various crowd controls that ReBrand has. So I think cleanse is such a very good pickup. I don't think a lot of SFL mid laners go cleanse often enough. So I'm glad he was smart enough to go for it this time around. Does have the Corrupting Potion as well as the Arcane Comet, so we're going to see a lot more sustain out of him, and whether it's health or mana, so that's going to be nice to go against up the Ahri, and Ahri's actually going to be pushing in very early on. Ooh, Indigo not landing that cannon minion down is going to be a little bit tilting, a little devastating to see, but otherwise we're seeing Papa Skips going very aggressive on a 9-line Klein there, doing a good amount of damage on that Ornn there. 9-line Klein is opting for that Grasp the Undying up there in the top lane Kled. I think that's probably the best way to go now. I think to go resistances. Actually, we're going to see a good aggressive Arcane Shift coming out from Indigo to land popping that Essence Flux there on the Ash. So good damage coming out from Indigo, and that's going to result in Ash popping her one and only potion. And Ezreal still having not only one potion, but the second one from his Kleptomancy. Papa Skip's getting very low, though, having to pop a health potion of his own. Well, 9-line Klein does have his Doran's Blade, and Zyzo not quite going to get hit by the Morgana Binding. The minion's going to be able to block it for him, and Gavi is going to try to find a hook, but Black Shield is going to prevent that. Despite getting in the faces of Prism, it's not quite going to find the hook and pick up that he wants. Otherwise, 9-line Klein is doing a good job keeping Papa Skips under his turret, but the farm is looking just about even. We do see a Cloth Armor picked up for the Ornn in lane as well. A very, very invaluable feature that Ornn has over every other champion in the entirety of League of Legends. No other champion can buy and lane except for Ornn. Prism, though, trying to get some early damage off with the auto attacks is going to result in him getting chunked down a bit. And good Essence Flux proc coming out from Indigo, as well as a good Mystic Shot landing on the Ashe is going to result in Zyzo being very low and may have to opt for a quick little recall there. Good CS lead right now by the Ezreal, 31 to Zyzo's 24. Seeing if they can pick up that cannon minion with the Relic Shield, and Mana Crystal being bought by Papa Skips up in lane as well. So doing a good job to stay as healthy as he can and get those resources under his belt, and allowing all the rest of his members can get some item upgrades. A lot of damage coming out from Bezelheim on the Rutledge Beast, so very good job playing a lot of that early game pressure. 38 to 28 CS, so we'll see if he's able to keep that gold lead accumulating. Meanwhile, another Pike Hook is coming, but he's just going to hook that minion instead. Autoing Indigo is pretty much all he can do here, while the slow from Zyzo procs at lethal tempo. Otherwise, it's a pretty Resident Sleeper game. We do see the Glacial Shroud now finished on the Ornn as well, so he's going to have not only that mana in the armor, but the early cooldown reduction as well is going to be very nice for him to have. Yet another bind is going to find Gabi, and lots of damage coming up, and Prism getting hooked in is going to result in... I was going to say Ashe, but that's actually going to be Pyke getting the first blood of the game. ReBrand doing a good job. Meanwhile, Acid stealing away the craft from Tokushiro. Just going to throw his axes away and try to meet up with his Gnar. Predator is going to be popped because it's a little bit of a sticky situation. They may actually try to turn it. It's a 2v2. Gnar's jumping in, seeing what damage they can find on the Acid, and he's going to be able to hop over the wall. Plants right back over. Not sure what's going on in the mind of Acid. He's getting so very low, and the Grass Puck is going to leave 9-line Klein just enough alive with the Triumph. Keeping him alive again. 2 times having the Triumph proc is going to result in ReBrand picking up their 3rd kill of the game. Recurve bow. Lots of attacks be coming up from 9-line Klein. Proves out to be beneficial for this Gnar up in the top lane. Tokushiro doing a good job to help his top laner push in the wave, making sure that Papa Skips can lose just as much as he can, and maybe get a turret plating on their side as well. Demolish coming out, and bop. That's going to be the first turret plating, maybe even 2, seeing if they can get 160 gold for each of them. Mega Gnar is going to be popped as well, and with enough minions under that tower, that's going to be the 2nd turret plating of the game. So 160 gold over to both 9-line Klein and Tokushiro, as well as 2 kills they picked up there in the top side. Not something you want to see as an Ezreal and Morgana in the bot lane. Otherwise, we're seeing a pretty good gold lead accumulated, about a 2k gold lead on the side of ReBrand so far. Oh, the team banners are wrong, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much for reminding me, because I'd be lost. Let me fix that. I typically do a good job, but not today. ReBrand and Waste Potential. There we go. We good? Alright, awesome. Otherwise, again, we are seeing the members of the bot lane for Waste Potential doing a good job to lay down more. I think they're applying more early game pressure on Ezreal Morgana than they were the Pyke Draven game. So maybe a bit more comfort on these 2 champions rather than the other 2, even though I do think Prism is quite comfortable on Pyke enough. So I don't want to take that away from him, and I don't know Indigo well enough to comment on his Draven, but he's able to apply a lot more pressure, being able to pop that Essence Flux almost every chance he gets on this Ezreal. So again, 53 to 44 CS right now in the bot lane. Did offer that tier first, as well as the Mana Crystal and the Cloth Armor, so he does have that early mana, does have that early armor, and a huge amount of burst coming up from Rutledge Beast as he lands the Lux Binding. Isn't quite going to find Bezelheim, but Acid might. Chilling Smite coming out, and a good ult coming out from Kayn is going to result in the first kill for Waste Potential, going over to Angel. No, not Angel, goodness gracious. Over to iPure Acid. No surprise. So, it did cost him his flash. He was having to flash in range to get that W off and get a good ult off. And actually, no, I don't even think there was a W involved there. I believe it was just the blue smite as well as the ult. Goodness, I cannot speak. Meanwhile, Tokushiro looking to get a cheeky kill, and Zyzo looking like me on Ashe. Not quite going to find that enchanted crystal arrow, but they're still going to try to make a play happen either way, but not quite going to find anything. And meanwhile, 9-line Klein doing a good job to keep Papa Skips under his turret with this so very devastating ranged into melee matchup yet again, showing that he does love punishing these melees with his range champions. A little bit of a buggy spectator there. Just saw Ashe teleporting around. I don't think she's Ezreal. I don't think she has the ability to Arcane Shift, unless it's a Sylas mixed with a Nico, impersonating another champion and stealing their abilities. Here comes another hook. Not quite going to find Angel over the wall, but it is going to find him nonetheless. Spell Immune from the Ashe Slow is going to allow him to walk away pretty easily, but having no potions, this is going to force a recall possibly out of Angel. No mana, no health, no sustain. Game 1 did go over. Oh wait, I mixed up. Ah! Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm slacking today. I'm out of it. There we go, I'm sorry. So now we got the teams on the right sides. Now we got the scores on the right side. I'm sorry for messing it up, so got everything all set back up. Don't know what's wrong with my mind, and neither does Indigo. Getting almost killed by... Not quite going to find the True Shot Barrage there. He dies just to another Ash Auto just in time. So Zyzo picking up his first kill of the game, and it's going to result in Gabi falling as well. So a kill going over to Indigo isn't going to be too bad, but had to burn both the heal and the flash. And meanwhile, Bezelheim going for a very aggressive solo kill there in the mid lane as well. Having to burn the cleanse and the flash of Rutledge Beast, doing a good job to keep up, even though it's a pretty dead even CS lead. And meanwhile, 9-line Klein doing a good job to get that Gnarl back, and a good stun as well. It's going to result in Tokushiro walking in for that last smite, and the Ornn ult is just going to walk right by and trample over the dead body of his buddy, the Ornn. Meanwhile, 85 CS to 55 on the Papa Skips, or on the Ornn. 5 Papa Skips. 9-line Klein and Tokushiro might be looking to go a little bit aggressive, and Acid is going to be able to ult on the 9-line Klein. Might be enough damage to finish him off, and not quite, but the Q is going to finish off that kill for Acid's second kill of the game. But Tokushiro, knowing how low an Olaf gets, it gets stronger the lower he gets, but he's going to have to flash away, and I don't think the flash was quite necessary, but I understand the fear of a second turret shot being the deadly one. Meanwhile, Gabi, yet again, trying to find another kill in that Prism, and he is going to have to force Morgana to use that ult. It's going to stun up Gabi on the pike. No charm is going to be found by Bezelheim, so a very good disengage by Prism. Make sure he does not die to that combination of the pike and Ahri. Tokushiro doing a good job to steal the kill away from his Wits End top laner. Wits End being finished on that Gnar as well as the Ninja Tabi, allowing him to have some survivability versus the autos that come out from the Ornn as well as the Kayn. He does allow some pressure on the top side. Another Enchanted Crystal Arrow is just going to go a little bit wide on Rutledge Beast. It would have been an amazing hit. But another amazing hit that we're talking about is going to be Bezelheim's Charm, and it's not going to be enough, and camera pans away as Bezelheim almost gets hit by the final spark, and meanwhile, more abilities are being landed as Gabi taken very low by both the Morgana bind and the Mystic Shot coming out from the Ezreal. So far it's 6-3 in the advantage, in the God, I can't think of my phrases today. What's going on with me? In the favor, there we go. In the favor of ReBrand, 6-3 so far, and having a little bit more than a 2k gold lead is so very nice to see. So far we are actually seeing the Blade of the Ruin King on the Zyzo being built, on the Ashe for Zyzo being built. And meanwhile, Iceborne Gauntlet is being worked on by Papa Skip, so he does have that Sheen and the Glacial Shroud finish, but huge CS difference up in the top side, 30 CS up. 9-line Klein is able to get 4 turret platings as well, and maybe able to get that First Blood Tower gold. If he's able to get that under his belt, that'd be very nice to see. Otherwise, 3-0-1 so far. Tokushiro showing to be the dominating jungle presence of this game so far, and the Olaf 600 gold bounty on him is going to result in a very scary rebrand. Meanwhile, Papa Skips isn't quite going to find the knock-up, and a lot of damage coming out from the Wits End, while this Nara is lowering the magic resist. Wow, a lot of damage coming out from the REQ. For the Lux and the Mystic Shot landing on Gabi, while Gabi misses a hook yet again, but otherwise, we are seeing Prism return to the bot lane. Was able to roam around and get some vision with his use of the Boots of Mobility. Otherwise, we are seeing both jungle enchantments finished off. We do see Bezel going aggressive, doesn't quite find the charm with the Spirit Rush, but doesn't quite matter. Meanwhile, Acid coming in here. Shadow Kayn, very scary. Boots of Mobility, as well as the Warrior Enchantment finish, is going to prove to be a very scary damage start. Hook from Gabi is going to be able to find Acid. Not going to get stunned up by the pike as he goes inside of Tokushiro. Cap of Pride is going to be enough to keep him alive as he flashes over the wall, and Boots of Mobility is going to allow him to have that movement speed to get away and got a very quick recall off to bring him back to safety of his base. Gabi's trying to find him, and that's actually going to be a lot of damage coming out from Acid, but it's not going to be enough. Doesn't find the Q damage off from the pike, and Zyzo finally landing the first crystal layer of the game is picking up that kill on the 2-3 Acid. So 2-0 on this Ashe right now. 2-0-1 is very good, as well as the first tower up on the top side of the map being taken by 9-line Klein. So 23,000, almost 24,000 gold to Waste Potential's 20k gold. So far they have a pretty substantial lead over their opponents thus far. Take a look at the gold. I never reveal the gold as much as I like to, so I'm not sure how many people pay attention to that, but we do see 9-line Klein is sitting on 1,800 gold that he had just spent, so he was able to get his Phage. Does help him get that health, that movement. Did I just Daffy Duck that? Health from the Phage, and gets the movement speed from that as well, which helps Gnar just be ever... Ooh, Final Spark almost finding that blue buff, and Tokushiro is actually, is ghosting. Don't say thank you when I compliment you, you bastard. You're giving away your secrets. Please don't actually ghost. That'd be really scum of you. Close the stream, focus on your game, dude. You're playing well enough, don't let the stream distract you. You're playing very well in the Predator Olaf. You don't need someone jacking you off to help you out there. Lux Binding is going to find Tokushiro, and that's going to have him pop the ult. Meanwhile, Acid is on the top side and seeing him come around for the flank. He is clearing up that pink ward. While 9-Line Klein tries to find if he can land some autos off on him, and a good collapse is coming from the side of ReBrand. Belzheim is on his way, but here comes Gavi. Hey, why is the support here? iPure Acid asks, while Ari Charm is going to land on Acid, and he tries to get inside of Gavi with his ultimate that he didn't quite have at the time. He just got as he had just died there, but that's a 20-second respawn. His 4th death of the game. The person that was pretty much solo carrying Waste of Potential last game is now proven to be a little bit of a liability. Having 4 deaths already in this 15-minute game is not looking good for the Shadow King, but the Enchanted Ice Arrow is going to land on an Indigo. A second stun coming out from Gavi. There's that Ashe and Pike combination that we're talking about. A good slow coming out from Gavi. That's not going to be enough, and there's the ult. Your cut going over to Ashe while Gavi picking up that 2nd kill of the game. ReBrand 5k gold lead, dominating Waste of Potential so far in this game, and Prism trying to see if he can get a kill of his own. Does get the Black Shield off for the Pike hook and stunning up that Pike, but no one is here to respond. He's going to do a good job stopwatching that Pike ult, and it's going to look very low, and here comes Papa Skips. Call of the Forge God isn't going to land, and that's going to be Acid picking up the kill on the Gavi. So a good TP coming out to respond to that 2v2 there in the bot lane with 4 members of Waste of Potential responding to it, but that's going to allow Tokushiro to apply pressure onto that top side. See if they can get that top lane inner turret to the best of their ability. Whew. Man, that is just not the ability you want to see whiff. So Riftfield is being popped up on the top side. Indigo and Rutledge doing their best to defend it. A good bind is going to land, but no final sparkers are going to come out with it being on cooldown. There comes the flash from 9-Line Klein! Stunning up the members of Waste of Potential. That's going to be a kill. Indigo falling. He's going to get rooted up by the Lux Bind. He's just fighting his way out of it. He's not quite going to get it, but here comes Shadow Kane trying to find his way onto Bezelheim. Not quite going to find the slow from the Ashe W, but autos from Bezelheim are going to come out, and a lot of damage coming out from the Q as well. Level 11 on this Ari. A lot of damage coming out from him. Acid is still level 9 to level 10 on Tokushiro. So, ReBrand doing an amazing job to roll with this lead so far. 17 minutes into the game. They not only have this 5k goal lead, they have 2 towers. They have the first dragon of the game, that being the Infernal, to allow them to have, you know, much more damage than they would without the Infernal if they're able to accumulate more. And actually, with Dragon coming up in about 2 minutes, we do see the 2nd Infernal coming up as well. Meanwhile, Gavi and Zyzo looking to take their first tower here in the bot lane, seeing if they can get that bot lane out, or outer turret. Not quite going to find it with a lot of minions dying to the Morgana puddle. So they're going to see what they can get. Tokushiro making his presence down here in the top, or bot side. Walking through the Tri-Brush that is warded. Morgana Bind isn't quite going to find him, but I would have preferred it had he eat the Morgana ult, or Morgana Bind, and then just straight up ulted and ran at them. That would have been pretty nice, but it does look like his ult is on cooldown right now. Is it Ragnarok? Nice. I'm getting better with my ability knowledge. So, he didn't quite have the Ragnarok in time, so if he did get hit by the Morgana Binding, there really was not much he can do about it, despite having the Merc Tread, so he does have the tenacity to reduce it, but we actually are seeing the Redemption. Someone has been watching their LCK. Redemption Olaf Jungle coming out for the side of ReBrand, so he does have that finish. 3-0-4 right now, having both the Cinder Hulk and the Redemption. Leads him to not only being a very tanky monster, but a very devastating utility one as well, and Tokushiro is going to be on a rampage. Not sure what Acid is doing there, trying to pick up a kill, but it's going to be easily punished by ReBrand. That's his 5th kill of the game. Not really Acid's game. Not quite sure what's in his head. I'm not sure if he's carrying over that tilt from the first game or what's going on. But this is very uncharacteristic of iPure Acid from what we've seen in his previous games. And good Cleanse Flash is going to be able to negate that kill that otherwise would have happened. Very good Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming out from Zyzo, picking up that stun there in the mid lane. So both summoners being burned on that Lux is something very, very important for the side of ReBrand to notice, and 9-Line Klein being taken very low by the Storm, but he's going to take a lot of damage of his own right back. Black Cleaver and the Wit's End being finished, meaning he's not only lowering your armor, but also your magic resistance as well. Morgana Binding isn't quite going to find anything, and neither is the Ari Charm or the Pike Hook, but it's not quite going to matter. Mid lane outer turret is going to fall to ReBrand. And here comes Acid. Shadow King is going to see if he can finish off 9-Line Klein, whose Mega Nard had just fallen off, and Angel. Ooh, good sidestep coming out from the Nara, being able to dodge that Morgana Binding. Indigo picking up that Mystic Shot on the Bezelheim, does have his Iceborne finish, does allow him to get that slow utility off, as well as the armor to keep him as healthy enough as he can versus the Zyzo 9-line and Tokushiro, but here comes Gabi landing a very good stun on the Rutledge Beast. Morgana Shield isn't able to save in time, and here comes the Spirit Rush. Charm isn't going to find him. But a lot of damage is coming out nonetheless, and that's actually going to be Bezelheim falling to Angel, and Papa Skips is going to be falling to Tokushiro. Or actually, it's going to be falling to 9-line Klein, excuse me. So 14-6 right now so far the side of ReBrand. Doing a good job to take this lead away. Second Infernal Drake being picked up for him while Baron spawns in about 30 seconds time. 203 so far. Zyzo on his Ash does have a 550 gold bounty, but nearly double that is 506. Tokushiro showing how very difficult it is to deal with the Redemption Olaf. Not only does he have insane dueling power as it is, but having that utility AoE heal as well as the true damage coming out from that Redemption allows him to be an even scarier threat. He is sitting on about 1,800 gold now. We'll see what his next pickup is. And Gavi almost taking that Skull Crab away from Asa. I'm not sure if that was another one of his BM tactics, but it's actually going to be Gabi looking for a kill. Isn't quite going to land the stun, but going to get a lot of damage off the support assassin, taking out the jungle assassin. Few red side question marks coming down as you see Gabi walks away with that solo kill onto Acid. So Gavi on this Pike, showing how devastating an assassin support can be. Does have only Serrated Dirk, as well as the support ward item finish, the Sightstone, I guess, if you wouldn't mind me calling it, as I live in a less complicated time. Gavi looking for yet another hook, but not quite going to find anything. Death from below is on cooldown. And we do see Papa Skips, does have the pillar there, but not quite going to go for the knockup. Good vision control coming out from ReBrand there. We do see it's very dark. Besides that Skull Crab there, so very dark all over the map for the side of Waste Potential. So very good job, very good vision control around the side of ReBrand there. Angel not quite going to find the Morgana Bind, but they do find the blue buff for Rutledge Beast. It will help them try to defend against this next siege. Otherwise, Gabi looking very aggressive on Acid yet again. He is going to fly through the wall, but flying through the ground. Here comes Gabi landing another good stun on Pike. He's insane this game. Acid doing a good job to use his ult and get away, but Chain of Crystal Air is going to come out and stun up the Ornn, and there goes Tokushiro! Is dominating, picking up that last kill on the Acid, as well as Zyzo picking up that kill on the Papa Skips. Nobody on Waste of Potential is doing well this game. If anyone wants to argue, it's probably going to be the Lux, and good Morgana binding coming out from Angel, and that's actually going to be a kill for Angel off onto Gabi. Very good Morgana binding coming out there. So they are holding their own, the bot lane, trying their best to save from the casualties that the top side of the map has unfortunately caused for a Waste of Potential. Little more than a 7k gold lead so far, but 5 towers to 0 makes this game feel a lot more difficult than it really is. We are seeing the third dragon coming up in about 2 minutes time. That's going to be the Ocean, so we're not going to see any triple Infernal Drakes just yet, unless we got a very stalled out game. Oh, excuse me. A little sniffly. So, thus far we do see the Righteous Glory. So we got 2 utility active items coming out from Tokushiro in the Zoloft jungle. So not only does he have Ragnarok to run at people as well as Predator, now he has the Righteous Glory as if he wasn't fast enough. And once he is on that, back line, he can use the Redemption to heal himself, heal his team, and also deal true damage with the active. And Acid trying to apply some pressure, flying through the wall and landing that W, but Gabi looking to find yet another hook, but not going to find it. Papa Skips flexing out with the rest of his team. Not a lot of health coming out from this Ornn. He does have the Iceborne finish as well as the Negatron Cloak and yet another Mana Crystal. I'm not sure what exactly he's working towards, but there's no health coming out from this tank top lane. And here comes Pike yet again, trying to find Acid, showing I killed you once, I'll do it again. Not quite going to find the hook, though, as Acid tries to finish off that recall. Again, so far, 3 and 7. Still very starved for gold, having to recall with 700 right now. See what he decides to pick up. That is going to be his finished Duskbladed Drakthar. See if he can pop some with the Shadow Cane, having that a bonus damage from Duskblade coming out. 18-7 so far in this 23-minute game. 2 dragons to 0, 5 turrets to 0. Acid doing his best to dodge all the pike hooks that he can, and Bezel landing a good charm, but that final spark is going to do so much damage, both the Ashe and the Ahri. Ashe is going to be able to live, but Bezelheim is going to fall, and Rutledge Beast is going to have to flash away from that pike stun. Gavi showing how very devastating he is on this pick, but doesn't matter. Double kill is going to go over to Rutledge Beast. He's able to pick up the kills and does have his Ludens finished, and we'll see what else he's able to pick up. Indigo hardly tickling Tokushiro right now, and Ragnarok is actually going to be popped and allow Ezreal to pick up that last kill. So another shutdown. A lot of gold to swing back and Waste of Potential's favor. They're showing they're down, but they're not out. 3-8 so far compared to the 6-1-7 Tokushiro. Definitely not a game that we like to see Acid playing. I like to think that Kane is probably one of his more comfortable champions as well, but again, just has to find his footing. See if he can pick off, you know, your easiest opponent you're going to find is Ash, while 9-Line Klein, his easiest opponent, is going to be Papa Skips. Getting that good ult off and having the flash for it, but it's going to pick up that kill off on Papa Skips, and Mega Gnar is going to fight it out and lands a good stun on Acid. The final spark is going to deal a lot of damage, but it's not enough, and Acid having to flash away. It's going to be a killing spree for 9-Line Klein. Wits End and Black Cleaver showing to be a great build for this Gnar. Oh my god, the fancy feat. Dodges the Morgana binding, dodges the Lux binding. So much damage coming out from 9-Line Klein. He's a one-man army taking on 5 members of Wasted Potential. That's going to be 1,000 gold shutdown. Going over for Indigo, but is it going to be enough? 3 members and now 4 members are looking to finish off Baron for ReBrand. We see Tokushiro is now here. Does not have, I should say, his redemption available. True Shot Barrage is going to spot them out, though. They do know what they're up to. Gabi doing a good job to flex on the outside of this team and make sure no one is trying to stop this, and that's going to be an uncontested Baron for ReBrand. 9-Line Klein bringing 5 members of Wasted Potential down and taking out the majority of them. We can see why Gnar is banned away from this guy so very often. Now, if he wasn't hard enough to deal with, does have the Frozen Mallet finish they didn't have before in a QSS. Even if you do manage to get a Lux binding or a Morgana binding off, you know, it doesn't quite matter. He's going to have that magic resistance from the Wits End, from the QSS, the active to cleanse the QSS, cleanse any binding or stun or crowd control that comes his way. So he's going to be so much harder to deal with, and Zyzo is absolutely invincible. 4-0-4 so far on this Ash pick, playing very, very carefully and doing the best he can to be both the damage and the utility bot. Coming out from this Ash does have a 700 gold bounty on his head if the Shadow Cane is able to pick that up. But we do see the Bladed Rune King and the Runon's Hurricane finished, and what looks like an Essence Rear coming out from this Ash for the 3rd item. Meanwhile, an item build I do not like seeing on Ezreal. We do see the Muramana was finished off and fully stacked by Indigo, as well as the Iceborne Gauntlet in his 2nd tier, but opting to finish the Hextech Gunblade before his Archangel, Seraph's Embrace, whatever you want to call it. I don't think is the best pickup, but it does allow you to have a lot more sustain early. Good Lux binding. It's going to find Gabi. Good True Shot Barrage is going to be on a killing spree. Picking up the slack a little bit more down in the bot lane. Starting to pick up a lot of gold now. Or, excuse me, shutdown after shutdown is allowing Indigo to come back. Ooh, excuse me, I have hiccups in this game. But again, not Acid's best game, especially when you are going Shadow Cane. You really need to not only pick up a lead, but keep it accumulating, keep it going, because if you're a Shadow Cane as opposed to Ross, once you're behind, you really cannot do anything. Right as I say that, looks like a lot of damage is coming out from the final spark. Bezelheim is going to fold a Rutledge Beast. The ult was popped by I Pure Acid. He's trying to find a kill of his own, and Papa Skips is trying to knock people up, and here comes Zyzo slowing Ord on Papa Skips. God damn it, I can't speak. Indigo dealing a lot of damage to Tokushiro, while I Pure Acid is looking to be very evasive, and 9-Line Klein, so much damage coming out from him. That's going to be a kill from Prism. Here comes another True Shot Barrage. He's going to find a lot of damage on Tokushiro. The Pike ult is actually going to be popped. Going to finish, oh my god, so much is going on, I can't even keep up. Indigo is going to finish off Zyzo. Shutdown is actually going to go over to Indigo. And 9-Line Klein trying to take on the world again. Here's Gabi to help him out. Final Spark is going to try to finish off a lot of damage, and Wasted Potential is showing that they do have the potential to win this game, and there's an ace for Indigo. 7-3 on this Ezreal. Once he has that ability power and that sustain, it's, oh my god, it's so awesome to see this team coming back. They do have the Ocean Dragon and another dragon coming up in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. That is going to be another Ocean Dragon. Will it be Wasted Potential's 2nd Ocean Dragon, or will it be ReBrand's 1st Ocean Dragon and their 3rd dragon of the game? 6 turrets to 0. A Wasted Potential trying to see if they can pick up their 1st tower of the game. Here in the mid lane, a lot of damage coming out from Rutledge Beast, doing a good job to land these Lux bindings, land these Morgana bindings. Anyone landed by anyone hit, I should say, by any of these bindings by the side of Wasted Potential is going to result in you getting Final Sparks. So much damage is coming out from this Lux. She does have her Luden's finish, she does have her Zoni's Hourglass finish, and so much damage is coming out from Ezreal as well. And meanwhile, Zyzo finally falling, a lot of shutdown. His Achilles heel being found. And we're going to see if he's able to pick up the loss that he had found himself there. He does have 1,000 gold, so he is sitting on a good amount of gold before finishing off that Essence Reaver. That will allow him to finish off another 10% cooldown reduction, another 10% coming from the Caulfield's Warhammer for a 20 on that finished Essence Reaver. Will allow him to get a lot more arrows off, will allow him to just, oh my god, another Lux Binding. And there goes Zyzo, blown up by Rutledge Beast. He's doing his best to try to 1v9 this game. So many of the bindings coming out from him are why ReBrand are in such a tough spot right now. Gabi not quite going to find the hook on the Acid, but Acid's looking for more. Doesn't matter if he has 10 deaths, he's trying to look for more kills. Kills, kills, kills. That's all Acid knows, and he's looking for them. Charm isn't going to be found by Bezelheim, but here's Call the Forge God. Not quite going to find anyone, but Angel's coming on the side, seeing if he can find a binder and ult. He can stun anyone up, and looks like it's going to be an Ocean Dragon. Picked up. It's a waste of potential, so they're doing a great job able to get back into this game. They are still 5k gold down, and second Baron of the game is on its way to being respawned. They are looking to see if they can get that bot lane out of turn and try to open up the map a little bit. Looks like it's going to be uncontested. Acid on the side, blocking the 9-line recall, making sure he's delayed as possible. 3 members of ReBrand aren't quite sure what to do. They're in the mid lane to see if they can pick out this inhib turret, and 9-line Klein is stopping the ports! He's not the Kane, but he's trying to do his best nonetheless. Vampiric Scepter being picked up for him does allow him to have a bit more sustain. We'll see where that decides to go, if it will be into a Bladed Ruin King, full split push build now, or what he decides to do with that Vampiric Scepter. 1-5 so far on Papa Skips, but does not quite matter. He's finally picking up health, finally picking up resistances, and he is being that frontline tank that Waste of Potential really do need to pick up these wins. It still is anybody's game. Baron coming up in 25 seconds. Again, still about a 6k gold lead, 5k gold lead. Enchanted Arrow coming out from the Ornn, and it's going to be able to avoid any danger there. Lux Shield showing to be very, very useful as well. Medjai is actually going to be bought on Rutledge Beast. A little bit of a greedy purchase there if they were able to take that out. Prevent him from getting any stacks there. Meanwhile, lots of pressure coming out from 9-line Klein. Headbutt, headbutt, headbutt. Picks up that bot lane inhib turret while the rest of the members try to go for the Baron. True Shot Barrage is going to be able to spot them out though, and Prism walking up through the other side, trying to clear the vision, trying to acquire so much vision that they can. Zyzo getting so low though, and Final Spark is going to find it. That is 4 members left on ReBrand, and you see a lot of On My Way pings coming down from Waste of Potential, and here it comes. Their Baron buff. The Waste of Potential on 9-line Klein does finish off that bot lane inhib, and a good charm coming up from Bezelheim is going to result in Angel having to pop that Zonia's Hourglass, and Gavi's going to be stunned up with an Hourglass of his own. And so much damage is coming out from Waste of Potential. Indigo is godlike. Doesn't matter how many times Acid has died, he's showing to be so very strong. Shelling Smite is going to allow him to ult in, and another kill for Acid off on the Tokushiro, saying, get over here, meta picker, with that Redemption Olaf jungle. Doesn't matter. I'm going to kill you. Doesn't matter how many times I died. I have my Duskblade finish. I have a Serrated Dirk, and 9-line Climb binding off more than they can chew. It doesn't matter if he's level 18 or level 15 Ornn. Another Final Spark is going to come out. I don't know how short that Lux cooldown is. Meanwhile, 3 members of Waste of Potential are going to be able to pick up this Baron, and from a game that was so very in the hands of ReBrand, it is now in the hands of Waste of Potential. Enchanted Arrow is going to find the Ezreal, but nothing to follow up on it. 22 kills to 23 right now, almost dead even. ReBrand still has the tower advantage as well as the 2 Infernals to the 2 Oceans. So those neutral objectives are more beneficial to ReBrand than they are to Waste of Potential. But does not matter. Acid is going to find the red buff to take away from the Ashe for ReBrand. And now, Fed Lux is just absolutely ridiculous to deal with. 20 Medjai stacks. If you are even 60% health, you are going to die from this Final Spark. There is no say or what you can do about it. Bezelheim doing his best to land charms and get the picks off for ReBrand, but he's really not able to find as much success on this as he would very much like to. 9-line Klein was able to finish the bot lane inhib, but maybe he probably should have, gone elsewhere once he finished it and not really stayed, knowing that more people would be able to collapse and respond to him. Meanwhile, 8-3-6 so far in this Ezreal. Indigo picking up kill after kill, shutdown after shutdown gold, has allowed him to become such a dangerous threat in this game. Acid is allowing him to have red buff to see what he can do with it. He does have, or was sitting on the second tier, and now has his Seraph's Embrace finished, or Archangel Staff, which will soon be a Seraph's Embrace. Does have his Mortal Reminder finished as well, so he is going to be able to reduce the healing of the side of ReBrand, so it doesn't matter if it's the Gnar, doesn't matter if it's the Ashe. It will help him in his dueling capability. Full itemed Ezreal. 6 completed items to Ashe's only 4. So there's a massive, massive difference in the current 80 carries. Oh my god, so much damage coming out from the Essence Flux procs. And here comes another True Shot Barrage. Not quite going to find it. Is going to hit Bezelheim and almost send him to lower than half health. Showing that mages and double tier item 80 carries are just the way to go in this current meta. And from what was nearly 10k gold down, Wasted Potential are now less than 2k gold down. They're picking up this lead. They have this very scary Ezreal that has a 1k gold bounty on him. They have this, you know, Redemption Olaf that is able to rush in there, but it doesn't matter. You can't really rush into the members of Wasted Potential if they're able to just blow you up. This 20s Magi stack Lux is going to absolutely blow you up. And, you know, it's just absolutely devastating. Bezelheim doing a good job to stay alive with them, or Zhonya's Hourglass, but it isn't going to be enough acid waiting long enough, and that's actually going to be Gabi finishing off that kill, and Tokushiro is going to get blown up by that final spark, and Indigo is going to flash and finish off that last kill. He is legendary. Meanwhile, 9-line Klein stressing out Papa Skips up in the top side. They do have super minions flooding in the bot side of the map, and now that he's knocked up Papa Skips has nothing else to keep the Gnar off of him, and that's going to result in his flash. Angel is here to help him out, and Gabi's up in the mid lane swimming around. He might get found with this Morgana binding, but not quite. It's going to zoom over the wall, and 2 super minions are going to be in the bot lane of Wasted Potential. Someone is going to have to clear that, though. 9-line Klein has recalled, and we're seeing the 3 members of ReBrand now respawning would be the more accurate word. Papa Skip's doing a good job to clear those super minions out, and that is going to be the last super minion wave that they'll have to deal with. And Hib is now going to be respawning, and we'll see the 5 members of ReBrand, now that they have respawned, what their next step is going to be. 25 Magi's Soul Stealer Lux. So far with a total 717 ability power. Such a very scary threat for ReBrand to have to deal with. 7-1-11. I very much like Rutledge's Lux much better than his Vygarn. I like 9-line Klein's Gnar better than his Kennen. And meanwhile, Papa Skips is going to get stunned up against the wall, and here comes Gabi to respond. And there's the death from below. Able to pick up that kill, even though the Call of the Forge God is not quite going to get finished off to knock up Gabi, and that's going to be a 50-second death timer, a 5v4 advantage for ReBrand, while 3 members walk up the mid lane. Bot lane Inhib is exposed, and Gabi is looking to regroup with his team. Figuring out that vision isn't quite going to get fined by the Morgana binding. Baron spawning in about 1 minute and 30 seconds, and meanwhile, Shadow Kane, despite not having the best of performances early, is getting his items, does have his Edge of Night, does have his Duskblade, does have the Last Whisper. So much damage coming out from this Kane. So that's going to result, again, so far Zyzo was 404 not too long ago. Relish is going to be stunned up, but there's really not much that ReBrand can do with it. Again, 404 Zyzo was earlier in this game. Now he's 4-4-6, so showing that it is so very hard to stay alive on an immobile AD carry such as Ashe, especially when they got all these very heavy damage, you know, mages, assassins, and all the various lights that this Ashe has to deal with. One final spark, I'm pretty sure from 100 to 0 can just absolutely take her out. Does have a QSS to negate that light binding, but is it going to be enough to keep him alive? So far, 25-25. Kills are dead even right now for both ReBrand and 9-line Klein taking the blue buff away from his mid laner. Bezel, a little sad about that one. Not having the best of his games. 3-6 on this Ahri so far, but he does have the Rabadons, the Ludens, and the Zhonya's Hourglass. Not sitting on a lot of gold, and the only 2 members sitting on a lot of gold are the top lane and the jungle for ReBrand, as well as the 1200 and the 1700 for the mid lane and bot lane of Wasted Potential. Both teams are looking to take it a little bit slow now. 50 kills in this 40-minute game. It has been an absolute fiesta, but with Baron just now respawning. Yeah, I did the caster thing where I look at it. Isn't that cool? We'll see which team is able to establish the better vision, see if they can get a pick off. If I had to guess, I really do think Wasted Potential are going to pick up the advantage here. They got 9-line Klein in the bot lane for ReBrand. He does have his teleport available, knowing that there is no vision on this Baron. So they aren't able to see what's going on unless they get the Hawk Shot out from the Ashe, and I can let them know what's going on. 7k health on this Baron, getting so very low. Can ReBrand do something to stop it? Final Spark is still available, and here comes the teleport from 9-Line Klein. 1,000 health, and Tokushiro steers away the Baron! Call the Forge God is going to knock up 9-Line Klein. Tokushiro is going to fall to the Shadow Cane. So much damage coming out from every member of Wasted Potential, but does not matter because Baron buff is going to go over to not Wasted Potential. ReBrand! Why do I keep wanting to mix up these names? Great steal coming out from Tokushiro. So very well done. Running in with that Olaf, did have the Predator available. Or actually, no he didn't. That's a lie. I think he just ran in with Righteous Glory, so was able to run in there with the movement speed. Smite that away from Acid. So very well done. 25 seconds, though, still remaining on his respawn timer. It is going to allow Wasted Potential to try to see this up. Gabi landing a good stun onto Papa Skips with that flash, but it's going to result in his GA being popped, and here's Acid floating around and taken down. Shut down for Indigo. Is going to pick up Gabi. I think the safest thing would have been to, just wait out for your jungler. You do have Baron. You need to keep it on the members alive the best you can and just, clear and wave clear. Meanwhile, Acid taking a lot of damage is going to force him to flash and get the heal from the wall. Well, Bezel was able to find the charm, doing a very good job bursting down his opponent. Indigo, lots of damage coming out from this turret. Iceborne Gauntlet Sheen proc is going to be so very devastating, and Chant Crystaller isn't quite going to find what he needs in the Morgana binding. It's going to result in 9-Line Klein not quite going to find the engage that he wants, and True Shot Barrage is going to deal a lot of damage. Morgana binding is going to find Bezel. Zoni's Hourglass is going to save an Indigo solo kill on the Zyzo, showing that he is the better AD carry this game. 1,000 gold on this Ezreal on his head right now. 11-3, devastating performance, and Angel doing a much better job this game as well. Able to find these Morgana bindings left and right, and a lot of damage coming out from the Mystic Shot. A very, very aggressive flash forward, and 2 autos is going to be all it takes for Indigo. Indigo is legendary on this Ezreal, and that's going to be mid lane inhib taken for Wasted Potential. Are they going to try to find more, though? 50 seconds on the Ahri and 25 on the Ashe, and then they decide we're going to play it a little bit safe. Elder Dragon is up. Baron, not up. Was taken, stolen away by ReBrand. So this game that was more than definitely... this was ReBrand's game to take. That, there is no doubt in my mind that this was ReBrand's game, and Wasted Potential take it right back from them, and I'd be damned if ReBrand were able to come back from this. There's no such thing as go next in a competitive game, but man, this is looking really, really bleak for ReBrand. So much damage coming out from the 7-1-14 Lux, and Indigo flashing forward to get Ezreal autos off in the base of ReBrand. It's absolutely insane how aggressive he's able to play and how well he's executing it as well. Whew, I need a drink. Enjoy recall animations for a moment while I parch myself. Oh, that's some good shit. This stream could also be sponsored by Sunkist if they ever answer our emails. Kappa. 1, 2, 3. Whew. I'm really hoping this only goes to a game too, because I've used all my energy on these 2 40-minute games. I'll tell you what. Otherwise, 12-3 so far in this Ezreal, half health. Both carries are gonna be, both Ashe and Ahri from across the map are going to be taken out by the True Shot Barrage. Final Spark isn't going to find anyone, but had it did, that would have been either of the members taken out. Elder Dragon on this Ezreal is proving to be absolutely devastating. Mountain Dragon as well. It is very upsetting to see one of my favorite champions being Ezreal, seen as a flavor of the month overpowered pick, and again, True Shot Barrage damage like that is a complete understandable justification of why people want it nerfed. So I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, that's absolutely fine. No, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But what's this? A cheeky play. 9-Line Klein. So much attack speed coming out from the Gnar is actually going to get that inhib on the bot side. Meanwhile, 5 members of Wasted Potential are trying to capitalize the best they can on the top side, seeing if they get the second inhib of the game. Acid trying to go for the Ahri. The light binding is able to be hit. Flies into Belzheim, and that's going to be a kill. 220 gold over to Acid, and Call the Forge God isn't going to land. Gabi is going to be able to finish off that last kill there, and that's going to be the only kill it looks like they're finding. True Shot Barrage isn't quite going to find Zyzo, but I'd probably bet a couple bucks that it probably would have finished off that Ashe. Otherwise, that's going to be the second inhib for Wasted Potential and potentially the game. Wasted potentially the game. Haha. Otherwise, it is 3 members to 4. Ashe dealing negligible damage to this Ornn. And lots of damage coming out from Indigo, and 9-line Klein is going to get Morgana binded up, and QSS is going to come out. He's not able to heal enough, and Angel finishing off Zyzo with that Morgana, and Indigo picking up a shutdown kill of his own. And that's going to be game 2 over to Wasted Potential. Unbelievable, especially from the first 20 minutes of that game. I would never have guessed. I cannot believe that Wasted Potential was able to pick up that game 2, so very, very well done. Very good pickup for that game 2. Very awesome to see. So very well done by Wasted Potential. That's going to be... Oh my god. Did I do have those mixed again. Right? Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to change it now because the game's over. I'm not sure why I'm so very out of it today. I usually have a good job with... what's it called? Keeping the stream up to date and whatnot, but... Otherwise, taking a look at the damage, we will go over to the damage graph. 61, almost 62,000 damage coming out from this Ezreal. There is no hesitation in saying that Indigo was by far the MVP for this game, followed up by the 37,000 damage coming out from Rutledge. So amazing damage coming out from the carries of Wasted Potential. So very, very good job. Meanwhile, the most damage, or the highest damage dealer on ReBrand actually was 9-line Klein on this split push Gnar. So otherwise, again, for the supports, or mostly for Prism, because I know he's going to be the top of this vision score. Ooh, almost getting matched by Gabi, but Prism is going to end up being at the top of that vision score for that second game. So I'm going to set up this third game. Anyone watching is still beautiful and hopefully just on the edge of their seat just as much as me. I'll get this next lobby set up and we'll get into game 3 of ReBrand and Waste Potential. Don't go anywhere. And here we go, Game 3 of Wasted Potential versus ReBrand. We'll see what happens. We've seen two very back and forth games, so very even between these two teams. It's very safe to say that they're pretty well evenly matched. You know, we do see Lucian Band taken for the third time in a row, with the Scion, and no surprise, the Kha'Zix Band taken away from Acid as well. Yet again, 9-Line Klein is not able to get his Gangplank, and no Alistair nor Zoe is going to be available for pickings for either of the two teams. So we'll see what Wasted Potential prioritize for their first pick of the game. It looks like it's going to be Ezreal for Indigo yet again, showing how very devastating that hybrid damage double tier Ezreal can be. That True Shot Barrage taking out Zyzo and Bezelhelm to half health every time he was able to hit it. Doesn't matter if it was in a team fight or if it was just walking around. If he, if he pushed that button, it contributed to that 62,000 damage. Dealing 1,000 damage each time you hit that R button is just almost as insane as Karthus. Meanwhile, Zyra picking up for Gabi, so very heavy damage utility support down there in the bot lane, and there's the Jhin, a personal favorite of those like Dr. Freeze, being picked up for Zyzo. Maybe a little bit of a shout out to him, who knows. We'll see what type of build he goes. Imagine he will probably go Fleet Footwork, as many like to go. It could be a Dark Harvest as well. I've seen a lot of Dark Harvest Armor Pen Jhin, so being a lot more of a sniper, bringing out that sniper character, sniper personality there. If you do get people low enough to get that Dark Harvest procced off, and having an armor pen surely does help, especially a devastating force shot from Curtain Call. Is enough to just be insane, Actually, I'm going to save this game, or that song, for the spectator delay. And this is going to be my talking music. So otherwise, we're seeing the Sejuani picked up for Tokushiro, having a lot of success on it that first time. Very good tanky front line that ReBrand do like to hover around. Otherwise, we're going to see the third stage of bans. Shen, yet again, being taken away from Papa Skips. I really do think he has shown enough of a presence with it that it does draw a ban just about every single time we've seen it. So it's nice that he is being respected in that way, and 9-Line Klein's getting respected right back, taking away that split push Nor build that so very... there's really no way in putting it other than Papa Skips really did get his ass pushed in over and over by 9-Line Klein on that Gnar. It didn't matter if it was early in the game up in the top lane or even if it was split pushing down in the bot side. There was no way that an Ornn can answer to a Gnar like that. If he has Black Cleaver, if he has Wits, you're not going to have any resistances. He does have that percentage health shred once he does finish that Blade of the Ruin King off. And then on top of that, he had to deal with the Gnar having a QSS as well. So very hard to deal with. And Jarvan getting taken out yet again. And another Akali hover is yet again going to try to be a little bit of a comedian. And Orianna, though, is going to be hovered, and will it be locked in for Besselheim is that question. Third game of the series, and he is going to lock it in. Besselheim Orianna versus Rutledge Beasts Lux. Meanwhile, Indigo and Angel are going for the Ezreal Thresh bot lane. Not one of my favorite bot lane combinations. I really dislike Thresh combined with the Ezreal. I think something like a Zyra or something more damage heavy oriented and wave clear is able to help out that Ezreal more, help him push, help him poke under tower and all that different stuff. And we're actually seeing, doesn't matter if you take away his Shen, Papa Skip still has his Maokai, so picking up for that top lane. And we're actually going to see Angel, or not Angel, goodness gracious, Acid, picking up that Karthus jungle, one of the most popular picks in the meta for the jungle right now. So we'll see what he's able to do on it, if he's going to look to apply more early pressure, if he's just going to farm. See how fast he can get to 6. See how fast he can get that Requiem to deal so much damage all around the map. And we're actually going to see 9-Line Klein this time. Going to be on Olaf and not Tokushiro. So Tokushiro versus Karthus. Let me try that again. Maokai versus Olaf in the top lane. Papa Skips versus 9-Line Klein. Karthus and Sejuani in the jungle. Pure Acid versus Tokushiro. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's going to be Lux and Orianna. Rutledge Beast showing yet again how many final sparks he's going to be able to get off in this game. Will it be another 40-minute game where it's doing 80% of someone's health? No one knows. Is Orianna going to be able to get those 3k ELO shockwaves off? Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Indigo and Angel versus Zyzo and Gabi. Ezreal and Thresh versus Jhin and Zyra. So 10 seconds, we're going to get that spectator delay. And yeah, we're going to give myself a few seconds. I'm going to clear my throat a little bit, grab a drink, and we'll be right back with Game 3, the final game of this best of 3 series of Wasted Potential versus ReBrand.
everything. The glitch mom, Michael, the word of love. It's Bobby, by the way. Let's get it. Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself, hey. Rise, rise.
You can remember. Okay. As hype as that song is, I'm not going to play the majority of it. Game 3 of this League of Legends game between ReBrand and Wasted Potential. Third game in, and I still can't remember the names to save my life. So we actually do see, again, in the bot lane, we're seeing this Jhin Zyra rush down 5-man squad. This time around, there's no line of scrimmage being set up. This is going to be a 5-man invade from ReBrand, see if they pull off something cheeky. So let's see, we're gonna collapse this, see what they can get down. So again, they are going to get spotted out. Very good vision from that tri-ward is going to allow them to see this 5-man invade ahead of time. And there might be a little bit of a collapse on this. Meanwhile, Mystic Shot is going to land on a 9-line Klein and say, oh, well, we're spotted out, boys. We need to head out of here. How much did you pull? Excuse me, Bezel? 4K. Alright. Stop talking null chat. That's not sportsmanlike. We're here in a serious competitive environment. We're looking to kick ass. It's game 3. It's meant to be intense. It's meant to be insane. We're supposed to be... yeah. Anyway, I really don't have much else to say about this game. We do see Rutledge Beast yet again on his Lux. He does have the barrier this time around. Not too afraid of the crowd control from ReBrand, so he's not going to opt for the cleanse this time around, despite having the Sejuani and the Orianna and the Zyra and the Jhin, actually. So there still is a lot of crowd control coming out from ReBrand, and we are seeing Acid on Karthus. I can't remember I've ever seen him play Karthus, and he's already being taken very low. The health regen from Red Buff is going to help him out a bit, as well as him smiting something. Oh man, I have like, you know when you have like air bubbles in your chest, and it's not exactly a hiccup or anything like that, but it like kind of comes up. I don't know. Meanwhile, Tokushiro not going to really land the level 2 gank W on the Maokai, so Papa Skips is maybe laughing his ass off a little bit at that one, but that is going to result in a lot of time down. And meanwhile, Acid going to have to smite that away, and W again not quite going to land on Tokushiro. He's missing some pretty key skill shots, and Acid did as well. Tokushiro showing he has some fancy feet of his own. Meanwhile, Zyzo and Gabi doing a good job to push in this Ezreal Thresh, and I really cannot imagine there to be much success down here in the bot lane for Wasted Potential, because again, I don't think in all my years of League of Legends I've watched a Thresh Ezreal win, because it really just doesn't happen. There's a little bit of a dis-synergy between the two kits. And we also do see a Doran Shield coming out from Ezreal to help prevent the poke of the Zyra Jhin. So he's going to have that sustain from the Doran Shield. He is going to have potions, not only the one he has, but also the ones he's going to get from Kleptomancy. Meanwhile, Conqueror being procced on the Olaf is going to deal a lot of damage to Papa Skips. Does have his Corrupting Potion, does have 2 ticks of it left. But Bezelheim being on that Orianna is something to very much fear as well. Otherwise, we're seeing a good CS lead up in the top lane so far, but as the wave crashes under tower, we can expect Papa Skips to pick up some, so it's not too much of a disadvantage there. And same goes to the Ezreal as the wave starts to crash under tower, try to pick up that CS lead from the 23 on the Jhin. Ooh, Papa Skips not quite going to be able to find that cannon minion. He's going to lose a good amount of this CS to the turret, but nah, I lied. He's actually going to pick up a good majority of it. Still getting very low by this Olaf, though. Olaf still having 1 tick of his Corrupting Potion left, as well as Maokai having 0, so not quite going to find the Mystic Shot to proc the Essence Flux, but Indigo still trying his best. Had a very dominating performance on Ezreal. So very awesome to watch. We'll see if he can do that yet again, using one of my favorite Ezreal skins, Ace of Spades Ezreal, so good taste in skins there. Good taste in... man, can I think of words tonight? Cosmetics. That's what you call them. Cosmetics. So Angel is actually going to find the hook on Agabi, and a lot of damage coming out there. The Ignite is going down as well, having to burn summoner spells on both sides, and Angel getting so very low. First blood is going to go over to Indigo, and Zyzo is going to flash into the Angel that had just flashed away as well. So Jin is going to be able to find a kill of his own, while Indigo is going to be able to pick out that first 400 gold of the game. Good lead started off by Waste Potential, and meanwhile, another one may start, and here comes the wall coming out from the Karthus. Devastating Karthus gank, and 9-Line Klein is trying to fight it out the best he can, but so much damage. He's going to be able to flash away. Another hook being found by Prism, and is going to get fourth shotted right in the face. Zyzo picking up the second kill, or excuse me, the third kill of the game. While up in the top side, they were able to kill 9-Line Klein. Indigo getting very low and getting rooted up by that Ezreal. Meanwhile, Bezelheim and Rutledge are fighting back and forth. Bezel doing a good job to utilize that Orianna pass of getting up as many autos as he can in the face of Rutledge Beast, who is consistently being pushed under tower in these lanes. 37 to 29 CS there in the mid lane, and Recall is coming out from Ezreal. Does have one kill, does have 1,600 gold. We'll see if he goes tier, or maybe even to rush that Sheen first to get some more extra aggressive damage. But Prism, surprising me on this Thresh, able to land a lot of really good hooks already 5 minutes in. So do see the tier coming out from the Ezreal, and we'll see what he decides to pick up for his next item as well. Does have about 850 gold to complement that tier. We'll see what he gets. And meanwhile, Zyzo picking up a kill of his own, does have his best friend sword. So we're seeing Ezreal to respond to the BF sword. He is going to have a tier, he's going to have a call and a mana crystal as well. In this situation, especially in Season 9 where it's a lot more back and forth and you're showing that your support is a bit more capable of starting these 2v2 skirmishes, so Prism, again, is able to land the hooks on this. There's both squishies in the bot lane, so there's a lot of kill potential for something like a Thresh. I think getting the Sheen first and delaying that tier will allow you to have so much more kill potential. Because again, you're getting the cooldown reduction from Sheen, you're getting the mana from Sheen, and then more than likely, you're going to finish off a mana crystal as well, and your refillable, or whatever else you might get for sustain. So, Cull kind of puts you behind a little bit. It does allow you to have some more sustain for auto. Good knockup coming out from Tokushiro. We'll see if he lands that stun to see if he can get an Ori WQ off. Or QW, I should say. And meanwhile, 9-Line Klein getting so very aggressive on this Conquer Olaf. Ragnarok's coming out. Oh, he's unstoppable. Is he going to be able to get the last kill to Papa Skips? And he is. Solo kill going over to 9-Line Klein off on a Papa Skips. 2 cloth armors aren't going to help you out too much, buddy, especially from a true damage Olaf. Very well done by 9-Line Klein up in the top side of the map, and meanwhile, Acid getting very low in his jungle, but doing a good job to clear it the best he can. Does have 47 CS, and this is Sejuani's 33. Both of them having Chilling Smite so far. Meanwhile, back and forth, this mid lane goes, and Bezelheim doing a good job to establish a very early CS lead. 58 CS to the Lux's 43, as well as up in the top side, a much bigger CS gap, 46 to 25. 9-Line is finishing off that phase first. We'll see if he decides to offer a Black Cleaver, or maybe even a Trinity Force, depending how aggressive and how damage-oriented he wants to go. I can't imagine we'll see a Redemption this time around, but didn't quite work out for Tokushiro as we saw him build it. It did work out very early. I believe he was like 5-0-6 at one point, but they weren't able to get the game through. Olaf falls off so very hard late game. I'll tell you what doesn't fall off though, Zyra applying so much damage. Gabi doing a good job to zone both Indigo and Angel off the CS, and Death Sentence is going to go a little wide there, and Gabi looking to get some more pressure off with the plants there. Ezreal, I can imagine, probably did opt for magic resistance in his runes, so he is able to stay a little bit healthier versus these Zyra plants. Again, having this call, he's not going to... Even if Thresh does land a hook and they get, you know, this perfect engage off from the Thresh, you know, Death Sentence, Flay. Even if you have Acid there with the wall to, you know, try to slow them and get more... get more utility to help the Ezreal out. Tier Ezreal, especially with Cull, you're not going to do any damage whatsoever. Very far ahead ward from Bezelheim. Too far up in that mid lane is going to allow Rutledge to take that out. No problem, but it is going to be a very early 8-minute dragon, an ocean dragon. Very juicy for ReBrand. Helps his laners out, helps the sustain for both the health and the mana. So very nice to see a good pickup there for that neutral objective for the side of ReBrand. Gold is still very even though, 2-2 right now. Hook! It's going to be landing on a Gabi. Flay's not quite going to find it, but a lot of damage is going to find him, though. Meanwhile, Zyzo being full health with his BF sword. He's still a little bit over on the CS lead of Indigo, and here comes Ragnarok yet again. Papa Skips. Is he going to fall? That's going to be another undertow, and boom! Picks up his second kill of the game on a Papa Skips. 63 CS to 36. 9-Line showing that he is a very dominating Olaf top lane, something that we don't see too much in this meta anymore, so something that he's probably a little bit more well-versed on. And Shockwave landing from the Orianna just at the perfect amount of distance. Q isn't going to find it, but boom! Undertow is going to finish off Acid on that Karthus, and Here comes the Requiem. True Shot Barrage is going to add on to it, but it's going to be no damage. No kills coming out from him. Meanwhile, Tokushiro showing his presence on the bot side of the map, as he knows Acid is on that top side. Next dragon is going to be a We're going to travel over here. It's going to be an Infernal Dragon. Oop, I had a little bit of a pop-up, so I'm not able to see what's going on, but it was something so very important while I had that pop-up, and Tokushiro is going to pick up that kill on an Angel who got rooted up by that Zyra. Such a very unfortunate time for me to have my virus blocker. And meanwhile, Root is going to land on Indigo, and he's going to be able to get out of range of that curtain call. 4-Shot is going to be able to find him as he's out of range of it, but a lot of damage coming out. And meanwhile, Tokushiro trying to find a kill of his own, but Rutledge doing a good job to flash out of harm's way. Meanwhile, first tower of the bot lane, or rather first turret plating, is going to go over to Gobi and Zyzo. We're able to push out lanes a lot more efficiently with this Jhin-Zyra combination. Like I said, I expected a lot more success out of their bot lane combination than this Ezreal Thresh, but despite that, Indigo showing that he is so very good on Ezreal. 1-0 so far, and he does have 1,500 gold. He's going to allow him to get that Sheen. Belzheim doing a good job to stopwatch the final spark. It is going to allow him to get hit by that E, and here comes Tokushiro yet again. Does manage to land the W this time around. One more auto is going to allow him to stun it up. Not going to be any damage though. Barrier coming out from Rutledge Beast, and here comes Acid, coming for the counter gank as well. Both junglers doing a good job to apply this jungle presence very early on. 10 minutes here. It's going to be 5 kills to 2 so far in the favor of ReBrand. A little less than a 2k gold lead as they try to accumulate more, and poor Papa Skips is just getting absolutely obliterated so far in this lane by 9line Klein. 3-1 so far, and he does have that Black Cleaver finish. And he's able to dive if he wants to. He's going to get that last Demolish proc. Boom, gets that turret plating gold, and I really do think, especially with that red buff, he is able to dive. You need to remember, with Olaf passive, the lower he gets, the more attack speed and lifesteal he gets, the more survivability and the more fighting capabilities that 9-line Klein is able to have. He will have the Conqueror available for him to use in this fight as long as he makes sure where the Karthus is the Requiem up, and all these other factors that may stop him from getting a kill on the Papa Skips. But otherwise, this lane is free territory. Meanwhile, Belzheim trying to see if he can walk up to the top side to help us top lane route. Does clear that vision in the mid lane. Mid lane river. The river. There are no other rivers. Are there? Either way, another Q is going to land on a Papa Skips. Why is this minion here? You see this? Why is this here? Go away. Actually, I want to see something. Don't mind me. Reckless Swing, that's what it was. Anywho, as I read Olaf's E, we are going to see Zyzo and Gavi maybe a little bit susceptible to this acid gank. Another Demolish proc. Boom, that's going to be the third turret plating for 9-line Klein. Papa Skips is very low, and oh my god, so much damage. Dive him! Go! What are you doing? Get him! Ragnarok is going to be popped, and Flash is going to come out from Papa Skips for some reason. Requiem is going to be popped, but it's going to be nowhere near enough damage, and meanwhile, Gabi and Zyzo do a good job of spotting him out, and in the middle of the Requiem channel, Gabi is able to stun him up, and here comes a True Shot Barrage. A good flash hook is going to come out from Angel, and it's not going to be enough. Stopwatch does prevent Gabi from dying, and it's going to get very low, but the Orianna Shield is going to keep him just enough alive. One more bullet is going to be just enough, but Zyzo does finish off that kill. Doesn't even need the 4th shot to finish off on a Prism. That's going to be Prism's 3rd death of the game. Rift Herald is being popped on the top side of the map, and while it's 8 kills to 2, and it's going to looks like it's going to be the 2nd turret of the game here at 13 minutes. A massive gold lead, already 5k accumulated for the side of ReBrand. Another Demolish proc is going to be just enough, and doink! It's going to be the 2nd kill for ReBrand, or 2nd turret, I should say, for ReBrand. Meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, Ezreal does have his Sheen and Pickaxe finish. A lot more damage coming out from Indigo, but is it going to be enough? Pickaxe, BF Sword, finished on this Jhin right now, and he has 750 gold bounty on his head. If he gets hooked, if he gets Requiem, then that's going to be a massive gold swing over to the side of Wasted Potential. 4-1 so far, 9-line Klein is. He's waiting in this bush to see if Papa Skips will overextend, and uh-oh, there we go. Not suspecting that top laner is still there after the jungler had recalled, and that's going to be a lot of damage, but no Ragnarok to break out of the Maokai ult. Not having the tenacity either, and that's going to be several Karthus Qs landing onto him. But come on, can he get it? So very low! And that's going to be an 871 gold shutdown going over to Acid, so a lot of gold, despite there still being a 5k gold lead inside of ReBrand. 9-line Klein not having that Ragnarok, going for a little bit too greedy of a play there, is going to result in him dying. He does have the weed number as a KDA though, so it's all really that matters. Gabi doing a good job to wait until he sees where Angel's going and does get a good snare off, as well as a Glacial Priggen coming out from Tokushiro. Doesn't even have to move away from the dragon, just kind of, doesn't even look. Cool guys don't look at explosions, and cool Sejuani players don't look at their Glacial Prisons. Lots of damage coming out from Belzheim. Does have the Shockwave available. Is he going to need it though? Q, Shockwave. That's going to be a lot of damage. The barrier might be enough to save Rutledge, but it's not going to be enough to save Acid. That's going to be a solo kill by himself. Bezelheim on this Orianna is going to get shut down by Indigo on this Ezreal. Meanwhile, Papa Skips is here trying to see what pressure he can apply on this Maokai. Still a significant amount of CS down, nearly 50 CS down on this Maokai. Versus this Olaf, we see two members of ReBrand, a third one coming down, that being the Sejuani, seeing if they can pick up the third tower of the game. No turret playing time to be dealt with here. It's, now that it's 14 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Maokai does not have his ult available. He's going to get slowed up and a little bit of damage going on to him from the Jin E. Jin Trap. I should know Jin Trap name. How do I not know that? Come on, show me. It's going to be Captive Audience. Ah, ha, ha. Captive Audience was able to get some damage off on a Maokai Slum, so he wasn't able to get in the range of a... How good can I get these names? I don't know Maokai W for sure. Twisted Advance. So stopped him from getting in any range to see if they can get a pick off on any of the members. So we see 3 turrets to 0, 2 dragons to 0, and 6k gold? A little less than 6k gold. So nearly a little more than a 5k gold lead. That's what I'm trying to say. In the favor of ReBrand. So all we need to do is have them close out a game. Please, guys, we saw this in Game 2. You need to close the game out. You can't let Acid get items. You can't let Indigo get items. He's already 2-0 on this Ezreal. He's sitting on about 600 gold, so it's not enough to finish off that Iceborne Gauntlet, but he does have that Banamute. He's stacking that first tier item quickly. He's going to be able to finish off that second one, get the Archangel Staff, get that AP. Was able to pick up that Hextech Gunblade early, and he showed how much he was able to do with that early sustain compared to finishing off that Archangel Staff. Whew! Should I be an auctioneer? Quick vape hit. Ooh, vape god. Alright. So what is the win condition? We need to take a look. So, Rutledge Beast having only died one time, maybe a second one, as Glacial Prison does land and the Lantern isn't going to be able to get him out of safety on time, and Rampage Zyzo is on. 12 kills to 4 right now. 3 times the amount of kills that ReBrand has been able to accumulate. Let me check on the time. It's 11:10. Cool. I got something I need to do before midnight, so yeah, making sure I can do that. Meanwhile, lots of damage coming out from Bezelheim, as well as the Shockwave. One more auto from that passive, showing how much, or how very devastating it is to auto on Orianna. You don't need those high-repelling glyphs anymore, buddy. Boom, second kill going over to Orianna, but it's going to be a shutdown for the Requiem. 450 gold over to Acid, but is it going to be enough? With 2 members of ReBrand, or excuse me, 2 members of Wasted Potential down, while 3 members of ReBrand were able to take out this outer mid lane turret. That's going to be their 4th turret of the game. Meanwhile, 9-line Klein looking for a 5th turret as he's whacking down on the spot lane turret. Does have that Black Cleaver finish, does have that Righteous Glory finish. So much items, so much health coming out from 9-line Klein. Here comes Rutledge to wave clear as best he can. Bot lane turret isn't going to be able to fall to 9-line Klein, but not yet. Does have his teleport available if he does need to respond to the rest of his team, but otherwise he's going to apply pressure in the side lane. I gotta do it as loud as I can. Meanwhile, Rutledge Beast does find the light binding onto 9-line Klein, and they do find a death sentence as well, and that's just going to result in him walking away with his Ragnarok. Nothing too lost there. Ragnarok having a very short cooldown. He'll have it up again in no time. Was a very good light binding and a death sentence found by both members of Wasted Potential, but it's just not going to find anything on something like an Olaf that's able to just break free of this crowd control. He's going to be able to recall though. Does have 1300 gold that he is sitting on, and look at the gold difference. We're about even in jungle, so nothing too big there. But look at the top lane, 7,900 gold on the Olaf. Where's that light binding going? I guess it was just the minions. 4,400 gold. So very little gold on this Maokai compared to the Olaf that was almost 800. Jungle is a pretty big difference in the favor of Acid. He has about 800 gold over the Sejuani. Mid lane, though, that's another big difference. These 2 soul lanes. Orianna having 7,200 gold to the Lux is 5,200. And then 80 carry is a little bit more in favor of the Jhin. 403 so far. Zyzo, 950 gold bounty on his head. And then the support, again, we're always used to seeing a little bit of a gold discrepancy in the lane that you're not going to get a lot of gold income on. But regardless, 4,700 gold on Gobi. It's going to be a bit more than 3,900 that the Angel, or that the Thresh, that Angel is sitting on. 35,000 gold. After we look at all of the gold numbers here, we can take a look at the top now. 35,000 gold for ReBrand with 29,000 for Wasted Potential. So They really need this Maokai to, you know, get his items, get tanky, and be able to frontline for the members of ReBrand so Indigo and Rutledge can pop off. And Light Binding, yet again, is going to be seen by Nine Line Klein. Is going to pop him out of there, but oh my god. It's a party up in the top lane while the third dragon for Waste of Potential is going to be picked up, and Angel going to whip Klein into shape and pick up that kill for his own. It's still a little bit more of a 5k gold lead. They were able to pick up that third dragon, the second Ocean Dragon for ReBrand as they look to get this inner bot lane turret. And that's going to be the 5th tower. True Shot Barrage is going to be enough to clear those minions, and that's going to be another good objective for the side of ReBrand. Acid on the top side of his jungle is able to get his blue, while the rest of the members of ReBrand are recalling together. No vision on them, while Prism is doing his good job to clear out what he can. Lots of vision for ReBrand, very deep into the jungle of Waste of Potential, so he's able to clear that. I said a lot, but I guess there isn't that many. There's that, there's that. That's nice, I guess, but I was looking at the blue ones, and for some reason it registered that they were ReBrand's wards, but no, those are Waste of Potential's wards, so my apologies. Otherwise, this Jhin is still unkillable, as well as the Ezreal. Both AD carries are without death so far. Indigo, again, we saw this last game, you know, he was playing carefully, getting his items, getting stronger, slowly but surely, and he turned into a powerhouse. So, ReBrand really need to close this game out. They really need to stop, you know, they're stalling around too much. They're, you know, we see Jhin was able to, you know, get the Krugs there. Now Orianna's, you know, getting the blue by herself. They really need to start doing things together. You guys need to get you know, you do have 5 turrets. That's great. That's awesome. You have 3 dragons compared to 0. That's awesome. That's great. But you need to do more. You need to get more. You need to close out this game. You're dealing with a Karthus. You're dealing with an Ezreal. You're dealing with all these things that are going to turn into late game monsters. It does help that you have Tokushiro on a Sejuani. That's awesome. He's that frontline tank. He's able to tank up so much. And then you even got Nine Line Klein, who's on a little bit of an off tank. He's able to deal a great amount of damage to the zone. He also has the Executioner's Calling to help with the healing coming out from the Maokai. So even more dueling potential is able to go down here. Nine Line Klein does have his teleport available, while the rest of the members of ReBrand are getting vision around that Baron. And here comes Tokushiro trying to get... Ooh, Glacial Prison. It's not quite going to find Angel. A heal is actually going to have to seal Gobi. Or the plant's going to be enough. No, it's not. And good death sentence coming out from Angel. Is going to see a good Mystic Shot. Almost finding Zyzo. And very aggressive Arcane Shift is going to see what he can find. Essence Flux is landing. It's only going to take 1 auto. Like I said, Indigo. So very devastating on this. Ezreal is able to Arcane Shift away again. But a triple kill coming out for Besselheim. 17 to 8. A good flash is coming out from Rutledge Beast, but he isn't going to find the Light Binding. Here comes Nine Line Klein, so very scary. Ragnarok coming out, and boom! Klein's going to find that kill. 0-3-4 so far. Rutledge Beast is not having as good of a game as he did last game on Lux. Going for a little bit of tilt play, flashing forward is just not what you want to do here. The only remaining member alive of Waste of Potential is Papa Skips up in the bot lane, trying to get what farm he can. Almost getting Flame Horizon so far by Nine Line Klein, having 170 CS to Maokai's 100. He's 30 CS away from getting that Flame Horizon if he's able to pull that off. I don't think we've seen many of those in the SFL, but otherwise, this is going to be an uncontested Baron for ReBrand. We see Thresh trying to come up and see if he can get what vision he can. Smite's going to get thrown down very early, and True Shot Barrage is going to come out, but a W's going to land. That was definitely an easy kill, at least in my eyes, if Tokushiro and Nine Line Klein were able to follow up on that. But since Besselheim is low, they want to play it a bit safe, get the recalls, get reset, and get back in this game. So far, 36,000 gold to the almost 44,000 gold, so a massive gold lead is still being accumulated by ReBrand. 5 towers to 0, 3 dragons to 0, and a dragon coming up in about a minute. 4th dragon of the game is going to be a mountain dragon. Going to make a big difference when it comes to turrets, when it comes to future barons, or future dragons, and all that good stuff. I can take a second. I can take a second to relax a little bit. Not too much else is going on besides the 5-man siege push here in the mid lane by ReBrand. Since Dragon is coming up in about 40 seconds, they don't want to do anything too crazy here. They want to play it careful. They want to get this Mountain Dragon. They don't want the Mountain Dragon to go into the hands of Wasted Potential. I'm having too much fun with this. This game needs to end, though. I need to go do homework. Just end it, ReBrand! Do it! You almost have a 10k gold lead. You have Baron. Tokushiro, if I don't see you just queue in and get a Glacial Prison off on someone right now, I'm going to be pissed. Get in there! Do it! Zaizo, curtain call. Just open it up. Do it. Zairu is going to land onto the Maokai and he's going to get chunked out of it. Force shot is going to do no damage to the Maokai that now has the Spirit Visage and the Ninja Tabi finish. So slowly and slowly he's getting tankier and tankier. If they're able to find picks, if they're able to get these Lux Bindings, if they're able to get these death sentences, they need to find these picks to get back into this game. But otherwise, that's going to be the 4th dragon for ReBrand as they take objective after objective. They need to push with this Baron. You need to get an inhib. You need to just make a play happen. You have the utility to make a play happen. You get Sejuani in there. You get her to, just engage with the Glacial Prison. You landed on one person that doesn't have a cleanse. There's no cleanse in the game. There's no QSS in this game. Stun up one person. Dive in there with Q. Have Oriana put the ball on you and Shockwave. Just do it. Just do it. Please. Otherwise, we're going to see ReBrand hold their dicks in their hands for another 10 minutes, it seems. God, I love these guys. I love all the people in the SFL, but Jesus. We're going to see the Q in. I really thought there was going to be a Glacial Prison coming out. Rutledge is on the side, and Glacial Prison isn't going to land. Maybe it's why he doesn't want to throw, because he's not going to land it. Final Spark is going to hit 3 members of ReBrand, while the play is going to hit Gabi, and a lot of damage coming out from the Israel. True Shot Barrage is going to hit all members, and that's going to be a Requiem going to hit 2 kills, or only 1 landing on a Gabi, and meanwhile 9-Line Klein is just ignoring the Maokai, and he's going to see if he can go on a kill on him. Reduce that armor, dude. Get that True Damage from the Conqueror. Run away from Acid. You're not going to get slowed by the Karthus ult, but you're going to get Twisted Advanced on. You're going to get so very low. Just fight it out. You have the Conqueror proc. Just fight it out. It doesn't matter if you have Undertow. Why run away? Just fight. Kill the Maokai. Do it. I hate this guy. Anyway, we did see the push on the top side of the map, but for whatever reason, ReBrand can't close these games out, and it's the most frustrating shit to watch. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest, I haven't lost my shit watching SFL games, but this is really starting to fucking irk me, right? They're getting caught out. You had the AoE of the True Shot Barrage and Requiem just destroying the members of ReBrand. You're allowing yourself to take turret shots. If you don't land that Glacial Prison on the Lux, that's literally all you need to do. Tokushiro, I swear to God, if you're still listening to this and you have this open even though you're playing a game, literally just, I don't know if you need to do a countdown. Like, I used to know Ashe players. I knew a foreigner Ashe player. English was not his first language. He was he was Hispanic, but I'm not sure what ethnicity. And he would literally go, 3, 2, what? That's not a Hispanic accent. I can't do accents very well. That's very inappropriate to me. But either way, you understand. 3, 2, 1, and then he threw it like, you breathe a little bit, you think about the play, you try to read your opponent's movements, and then you just throw that skill shot. It's an Ashe arrow, it's a Sejuani ult. If you land it, it is game-changing. It's not like a Mystic shot that you land on Ezreal, you get some damage off. No, you get that Glacial Prison off, especially at 27 minutes into the game, someone's gonna die, or at least they should. Meanwhile, 9-Line Klein, the rest of the 4 members of ReBrand are going to wait for 9-Line Klein to push, knowing that this Maokai can't contest him. Yet again, he's going to try to go for a play while 3 members right now of Waste Potential are answering his 9-Line Klein. Papa Skips isn't going to fall to him, and a lot of damage is going to come out, but you need to land that Glacial Prison as he just did on Indigo, and a True Shot Barrage is going to come out and deal a lot of damage, but the Oriana Shield is going to keep him safe enough. Here comes the Requiem. Is Gabi going to be able to stay safe? And he is. The Oriana Shield just saving his hide. And oh my goodness, so they're finally, they're able to get the first inhib of the game. Fantastic, right? I'm glad. Awesome. But I understand what they're wanting to do. You send your top laner with teleport to another lane to apply pressure. You have the 3, so it was great. They engaged at the right time. They were able to get that top inhib. They saw Lux and Acid, answer to Klein because they had to. The Maokai can duel with them and kind of try to stop 9-Line Klein. But if it's just Maokai and Olaf left alone, the Olaf is going to kill the Maokai eventually. He does have Conqueror, so he has true damage there. He has the Reckless Swing that's able to do true damage as well. And the Maokai isn't going to be able to run away from the endless, the Undertow over and over, you know, Q, 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 Q. So you're going to slow him all the time. There's not a lot of damage coming out from this Olaf, though. He only has the Black Cleaver. He's able to reduce the armor, but nothing else coming outside of that besides the Executioner's Calling that may turn into a Mortal Reminder. So he'll have armor penetration, but no damage to complement it. So it was good that they were able to get that engaged, knowing that it was a 2v4 up in the top side of the map, but they're still not able to do anything with it. Super minions are flying to the top side of the base, and I tell you what, it would be much more beneficial for them to have gotten the bot lane inhib, because what that does is, you have super minions flooding into your base on the bot side of the map, so that leaves someone on further away from Baron having to respond to super minions flooding into the base, rather than on the top side, because right now, they respond to these super minions here, and they still have just a short way to go to respond to the Baron if ReBrand decides to start it. So you need 9-line Klein, who right now is on this dragon and soloing this third ocean dragon of the game, that will help them to have their resources constantly regenerating. So it won't make a massive difference because there are these explosive team fights happening. You have the Ezreal dealing so much damage, a True Shot Barrage with the Requiem, as well as the Final Spark. It just takes wasted potential one team fight, and the game is theirs. That's what annoys me so bad. Like, ReBrand, right now, again, it's been 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes, and they're still not able to do anything despite having had such a massive gold lead for so long, having such a massive tower lead, and they're still pussyfooting around. They're relying too much on this guy. Look, I understand what they're doing. They think they're doing the right, like, textbook play, right? But there you go, you get it started. You force things to happen. You start to make wasted potential sweat a little bit. Zyzo almost getting brought down to half health, but is going to heal up a lot from that fleet footwork and the bloodline, as well as the Mercurial Scimitar. Gavi getting hit by an important death sentence. He's not going to have his Zoni's Hourglass either, and red team, ReBrand is going to finish off the Baron, and here comes Final Spark Requiem combo, and Prism isn't going to find the death sentence, but Tokushiro is getting very slowed down, and 9-line Clown on the bot side is able to get that inhib. Thank God! So there's the punishment for wasted potential trying to respond to the members of ReBrand picking up this Baron. They were able to get the kill off on the Gavi. That's fantastic. That's great, right? But you have your second inhib down, and you have the enemy team now with Baron buff. They need to recall. They need to reset. Tokushiro has his Warmog, so he can rely on that for health regen, but Bezel is too low. There's a Final Spark available. There is, or not available, but is going to be available. You need to recall. You're too low. And meanwhile, Tokushiro getting so very deep in there, and there's the shockwave I was looking for. Get the fuck in there, Tokushiro! Jim's son is going to be able to root out one person, but it's just not going to be enough to get anything else done from that. They were able to pick up the kill on the Rutledge Beast, and that is a large amount of their wave clear gone. So they have Baron buff. They're able to siege up this mid lane turret. Bezel is a little below half health and a lot less mana than that. Essence Flux does land on the 9-line climb, but doesn't get procced by the Mystic Shot, and this looks like it's going to be the third inhib of ReBrand. If they can finish this off, that'd be fantastic. Zyzo, good forward shot coming out on the Karthus, but he's not quite going to find the kill, even though he did land a good W, good, actually, I don't know Jin W. I really don't know my champion abilities. Deadly really? Why isn't Jin W Captive Audience, and why isn't the E Deadly Flourish? Is that a bug? That doesn't even make sense. Anywho. Still, so, with 3 inhibs down, it's game, right? 11 turrets to 0, keep that in mind. Look at this. Look at the neutral objective game. Directed camera. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not like 2, not 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one of Jin's most hated numbers because it's just not quite suitable enough for him. It's a little too far. 5 dragons, 11 turrets to 0, and now an almost 10k gold lead. So all they need to do, they need to walk in with double super minions flooding into the base of wasted potential, Glacial Prison, anyone. And now it's not going to be double super minion waves because they got the top lane and have respawn. So they need to send 5 members to finish off this last inhib. Because right now, if you try to do an ARAM right now and you're like, oh, guys, let's just go hit the Nexus. You're going to throw. Because that's what every single low elo team does, is that they just throw. Trying to do something simple, but can't throw if you just walk up to the face of a Lux and just Glacial Prisoner. So, last team fight is coming out. Zyrolf is going to go down. Rutledge Beast is going to pick up that, or Zoni's Hourglass, and Zyzo is picking up a kill on the Acid, and True Shot Barrage is going to finish off Gavi. Requiem is going to come out, and double kill coming out from Acid, but the Curtain Call is going to be able to almost finish off Indigo. The 4-shot isn't quite going to find him, and Shockwave coming out from Papa Skips is almost going to finish him off, and one more auto is going to do it, but it's not going to find it. It's getting that regen from the base, and that is going to be a victory! Over to ReBrand. I really wish they didn't make that last over 30 minutes long. I really think they could have finished that off in, 20 minutes time or so. It was just way longer of a game that had to be. But overall, a very, very good best of 3 series. Both teams playing so phenomenally well. It was so awesome to see. We're actually seeing the only deathless member of the game was Tokushiro on that Sejuani, and otherwise the only other members with 1 death are both the 80 carries. Indigo playing a very safe Ezreal, and Zyzo doing a good job on that Jhin. Otherwise, we'll take a look at the damage before we close out. Lots of damage coming out from Acid on that card. There's 27,000 and no damage really coming out from that Lux that was able to just absolutely dominate Game 2 that we had seen. Almost matching up with the Maokai damage, almost doing 10k of his own. And still, I think almost every single game, if I remember correctly, 9-Line Klein has done just so much damage in all these games. It doesn't matter what you put him on, so he's been playing very well up in this top lane, and it's going to make that difference, and that's actually going to be a victory. Congratulations, ReBrand, on defeating Wasted Potential. So very well done, very good best of 3 series. I'm so very glad I got the opportunity to cast that, so thank you so much for watching, for those that were able to stick around. And as usual, is the usual stuff, sponsored by Acer, blah, blah. Please follow the channel if you don't want to miss games in the future. Actually, I'll take a look at Vision Score before I'm out of here. Yeah, please follow the channel so you can make sure you're up to date with all the games, whether it's this main channel or the secondary channel. And otherwise, if you want to subscribe, please do so to the main channel. I really don't think there's much use subscribing here, so please don't do that. Again, I'm so glad to have casted this, so thank you for both teams for taking the opportunity to play against each other. It's a very long best of 3 series, 2 40-minute games into a 30-minute game, so it was very good for both of the teams. You know, stay in that. You know, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to be able to stick in 3 games for that long, so very well done by all 10 players of both teams. So again, very good series, but ReBrand were able to take it out in the end, and I was on the edge of my seat for most of it. So again, it was a very exciting series, and it was my pleasure. So again, thank you so much for tuning in if you were able to. Thank you so much to both ReBrand and Wasted Potential for playing these games on these lovely Friday night. I'm not sure what's up on the main channel, but if there is the series still going on there, please do so and check that out. And otherwise, we're not going to see any other games until tomorrow. The only series is going to be Lane Zero Blizzard versus US Army Esports at 9 o'clock EST, and that's going to be casted by me as well. So if you enjoy my casting, please be sure to turn in for that series as well. And otherwise, that's going to be it for me. So thank you so much, and have a good rest of your night. Hope you enjoyed watching the Sugar Free League.